Hello and welcome to a DFS strategy video for the 2024 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. My name is Eric and here at SweetSpotDFS. It's all about trying to hit the optimal lineup every single week. And in these strategy videos, well, they're live. So I like to look at the chat, interact with everyone, but primarily what this video is for is, well, strategize for the week, but also to go over the golf course, the tournament information, and then into the strategy portion of it by looking at, performance trends that tend to work for this tournament every single year. I like to look at the bucket system. If you're unfamiliar with that, there's a video in the description below that explains all about it. I like to look at Marquee Tee Times as well, which I don't have at the moment. So throughout this video or throughout the live, the stream, if I get them, I will update the tee times accordingly. So we'll talk about that. And of course, we'll be building lineups at the end of this video. So if you're interested in that, it's usually around the 1 hour mark. I'll be building videos. So if you're here in the live video and you're watching the beginning of this and you're interested in that, well, if you watch it from the very beginning when you come in here and I'm saying this, skip to the 1 hour mark. If not, you can always come back in an hour's time and we'll be building lineups. Usually these streams go about 2 hours, sometimes 3, sometimes we've gotten close to 4. It really just depends on participation, from the chat. So usually what I'll ask is if you want me to build you lineups, give me 2 to 4 golfers to build lineups around and I'll do just that. Otherwise, I'll be paying attention to the chat. If you guys want to leave any messages in here, let me know and I will answer them as I see them. But before we get into the strategy video, just a reminder, I do like to do giveaways. So I'm going to throw that on the screen. I call this the subscriber giveaway. I have a weekly giveaway as well as a monthly giveaway. In order to get an entry into this giveaway, which weekly I give away $5, monthly we have to hit the sub goal, and you can see it all the way over there to the left. We already have. So we're at 614 out of 600 subscribers. We've hit the monthly goal, and I run the monthly giveaway the first Tuesday of the next month. So this is the last stream for that monthly giveaway. If you want access or if you want an entry into it, be subscribed, comment here on the live chat or during the replay. If you're watching this during the replay, comment there. And that's how you get an entry into this giveaway. It's going to be worth $100. Actually, it's going to be worth 110 because I did say for every 10 subscribers we go over the goal, I'm adding $10 to the pot. So it's worth 110. But if we get more subscribers, obviously if we get to 620, then there'll be $20 added to the pot. So it'll be worth 120. It's really up to you. Do you want the pool, that pool to be bigger, or are you cool with 110? Up to you. If you want an entry like Josh does, howdy Josh, thank you, and Ryan, what's going on? That's how you get free entries into this giveaway. Now, the other thing to note, I have been toying around with this. I do live viewer participation, what would you call them, rewards? So if you're in the live chat while I say, hey, who's in the live chat? If you're in the live chat, I'll give you an additional entry. You'll get additional entries, and some of these are going to be subscriber only ones. So if you're not a subscriber and you want just a free entry just by being here, well, 1, watch the video the entire way, 2, be subscribed, and 3, raise your hand when I call upon those that are still watching the show. And then that way you get free additional entries into the giveaway. And what that looks like is this. So I have these called attendance. If you show up during the video, when I say, hey, are you here? I'm going to give you attendance entries. If you haven't noticed, I have this Road to the Masters. It's my database and website building video. I give away a lot of entries there because I know a lot of people aren't watching. So I'm going to reward you for showing up to that because I know a lot of people aren't there. So if you want more entries, you can see some of these people got 4 or 5 entries. All you gotta do is be there for the videos, the live videos. Again, I give you just entries just by participating, like Josh and Ryan. And then if you watch the replays and you leave a comment there, I'm giving you entries that way as well. So some people here have 3 entries, some people have 4. Just by showing up and watching my videos, you have multiple entries. And the more entries you have, the better chance you have to win. Doesn't guarantee your chance, like you know, guarantee you're going to win, but it obviously increases it. So with that being said, let's go ahead, run the giveaway. All I have to do is click this to yes, and we'll have our winner. Drum roll, please. Anna Marie. It's her first time winning. She wins $5. She was there during the road to the Masters, the lineup building, the database and website building. She wins just for showing up. What'd she have? 8 total entries out of 73. So those are some pretty good chances. And you're right, Ryan, it only takes 1. I've had people just show up and never ever return, and they win an entry. Now here's the thing. You got to see that you won the entry. I'm not going to go chase you down and say, hey, you won the giveaway. You got to let me know. I have some people that still haven't responded to me, and I've even mentioned to them, hey, go watch the strategy video. Go watch that last video. There might be something there for you. Yet nothing. But just to show you it's not rigged, I can continue hitting yes, no. Lombardi Lee had 11 entries. Did you see that? Josh, you had 9. Anna again. Joanne had 3. So basically what I'm going to do from here on forward is I'm going to reward you guys for being in this stream for as long as you are. I'm going to try to interact with you more. We're going to try to get you some more entries just by being here, because I appreciate the hell out of you guys for being here. That way it bumps up the YouTube algorithm, you know, views and stuff like that. And it's my way, again, to reward you for participating on this channel. So Anna's the winner. Congratulations. All of these get added to the monthly subscribers. So currently there's 154. And it starts at the Tournament of Champions, goes down to the Sony Open, the American Express, Farmers Insurance Open. So all of these are in there currently. Yeah, and if you want entries, just be here, just like Josh and Ryan. They're here. They're getting entries just by being here. I'm not going to put you guys' names in there right now. Basically, how I like to do this is do my roll call. We'll call that. That's what we should call it. It's a roll call. Who's all here, and then I'll enter your names this way, and then I basically go back into it and I retroactively look at the podcast and put your guys' names in manually. So that is what we have for the subscriber giveaway. There's also a Prize Picks giveaway. This is more like a rebate. If you sign up on Prize Picks and put the promo code SweetSpot in while you sign up, you're going to get, well, first of all, you're going to get a deposit match up to $100. But if you put $20 in your account, you're going to get $20 back from me. So you will have 40 in your account when all things are said and done. And it only costs you 20 bucks. Actually, it's going to be free because I'm going to give you your $20 back. So you can find a link for that sign up, or at least for the website, down in the description of this video. You click it, hit sign up. The SweetSpot promo code should already populate, and just do your thing. And you will have, well, first, again, you'll get a deposit match, and then you get $20 from me. I also provide a cheat sheet, which I'll throw on the screen right now. There's a link for that in the description below. You can follow along with me while I go throughout this video. You can already see one glaring gap. That's because I don't have tee times yet, because the PGA Tour has not put them out, which is a bit concerning. We already hear there's going to be weather coming in Sunday. I don't know why they're delaying the tee times. It's very annoying. Again, I will update them accordingly if they show up during the stream. Hopefully they do. They usually come out Tuesday night or Tuesday during the afternoon, so we will double check that. But again, this is the cheat sheet for you guys. Everything that I go over in this video, you can find on this cheat sheet, because not only do you get the dream sheet, but you also will get the bucket system, which I obviously talk about throughout the strategy video. So again, there's a link for this in the description below, and then I will be building lineups using the optimizer. This is available for all of you. Again, I do not have tee times, so I don't have the Marquee Tee Times in there. So basically you just get a normal optimizer if you want it. All you gotta do is be subscribed, email me at SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com right there, and let me know that you would like to use the optimizer. I do have my email up right now, so if you want me to send it to you, I can certainly do that while on stream. What's going on, Anna? You finally won a giveaway. Joanne, good evening, and Mr. Delo, hello there, sir. I was saying, what I'm going to try to do going forward is if you're in the chat during roll call, I will give you more entries into the giveaway. And that's obviously how Anna won her giveaway. She was in the database and website building video, and while I called roll call, she got 5 free entries because that's what I called at that time. I know. Yes, you won something. So that's all you got to do. Just watch the video. I'm gonna reward you guys for watching the video. I will periodically just say, hey, who's here? And if you raise your hand, or if I say, give me your favorite golfer or whatever, and you answer, I will get you an additional entry. So again, my way to reward you guys. One more time, optimizer that's on the screen. I'm going to be building lineups with this later on in the video. If you want access to it, email me at SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. It just came on the screen. And let me know that you'd like to use the optimizer. I will send it to you. It currently does not have any tee times in here. No Marquee Tee Times, nothing. So just be aware of that. If it gets updated throughout this video, I will update it. But again, PGA Tour has not yet released the tee times, so I cannot add the tee times. Anyways, those are all the giveaways. The subscriber giveaway, the prize picks giveaway, the cheat sheet, as well as the optimizer. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. I'm going to bring down the screen, or bring down the optimizer, and I'm going to go straight to the tournament fact sheets. We're going to talk about the golf courses that are used at this course, as well as the tournament. I like to go to the gcsaa.org. You can see it up here. The website's gcsaa.org. And I like to go down to the tournament fact sheets, which you can find at the bottom under media room. Click the tournament fact sheets, go under 2024, and find the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Then, of course, I'm going to zoom in for you guys so you can see it. This tournament is using 2 golf courses. It normally uses 3, but it has changed to a signature event. It wasn't a signature event before. So we have very good golfers, which I'll be talking about here shortly with the tournament information. But we have 2 golf courses. It's going to be Pebble Beach Golf Links, which, I mean, that's what the tournament is named after. And then we're going to use Spyglass Hill. They have cut Monterey Peninsula Country Club out of the mix. I believe the Pro-Am is only doing 36 holes. So I think Saturday, Sunday, the pros are going to be playing on their own. Now, there is something very crazy to keep in mind. If I go ahead and go to windfinder.com, I am going to, like, this is Saturday, or okay, hold on. This is Tuesday, the 6th. If I go to Sunday, the 4th, look at this stuff. So if you can't tell, this is Russia and China. You see this nice little, there's a ton of storms happening throughout all of the oceans. All of them. All 2, or I don't, Jesus Christ. How many oceans are there? 5? Indian Ocean. Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna think about it. But this is where the Monterey Peninsula is, right here. This little point. This is where they're playing the PGA Tour golf course, right here. See this? This is coming inland, and it is causing a ton of wind. It is just vortexing wind all the way up from south to north. And if we scroll all the way in, Where is Pebble? I forget. Is it over on this side? Here's Monterey Peninsula Golf Course. I forget where. There's Cypress Point. Oh, here's Spyglass. So this is Spyglass right here. If I just click on this, 20-mile-an-hour winds. That's at 3 a.m. 6 a.m. It's at 31. 33 at 9. 36 at noon. 44 at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Where is Pebble Beach? I thought it was like on the northern tip up here. Can't believe I can't find it. And I don't know why they're not even marking it on here. Can't scroll in any more than what I already have. Either way, 40-mile-an-hour winds on Sunday. That is borderline impossible to play in, especially on a golf course like Pebble Beach. So I have no idea what they're going to... Oh, here's Pebble Beach on the southern part of it. I have no idea what they're going to do. Oh, yeah. So no defense. The wind is coming from the south to the north. It's going to really be affected. 41-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm kind of curious as to why the tee times haven't came out. I'm willing to think that they're trying to figure out a way to make it all work. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get 36 holes in on one of the days, or maybe 27, 27, 18. They might do something interesting, because this doesn't just stop on Sunday. Monday, it's going to be a little bit of the same. Actually, it's tamed down a little bit. That storm is still out there in the ocean. Not quite sure where. Oh, the wind does actually settle down. Oh, it's moving more into the ocean. Okay. Well, who knows? Maybe as the days go on, that's why you never really check weather for Thursday on a Tuesday. That looks pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on with the weather. I don't know what's going to happen with the tee times, but that's something to consider, because I mean, I don't even know. You can't really consider that when it comes to like Sunday's round. When you build lineups for Thursday through Sunday, you don't know who's going to be in contention Sunday. You have no idea. There's no real advantage you're going to have when it comes to any of that. So, but yeah, Sunday doesn't look super great. Lombardi Lee, what's going on? Paul, hello, sir. Haven't seen you in a while. Sup, spotters. What's up, bestie? Well, that's not good. Yeah, it's not ideal, Anna. It's not ideal. All right. But yeah, we have the two courses. The Pro-Am is going to be Thursday, Friday for the first 36 holes, and then the pros just play Saturday, Sunday on their own. Again, I imagine they're going to try to get most of the... I'd like to think they're going to try to get it all in early. But we'll see. You have basically the same type of golf course. We have Poana at Pebble. Actually, let me go back. I like using the tournament fact sheets because this gives you all the data points you need for research. You can see what the par is, you can see the yardage, the stimp meter. Those things are useful. I wouldn't say super important, but very useful. You got your turf grass, which is what I think is the most important piece of looking at a golf course that golfers are golfing on. Believe it or not, golfers are they're better on certain surfaces than others. So this is Poana. You can look at your Northeast golf courses. You can look at your California golf courses. Most of them have Poana, especially when the temperatures don't get really hot. So like, obviously we're near San Francisco, so that's why we have Poana. You also have Poana at the Genesis. You have Poana at Farmers, which was last week, at Torrey, I should say. So use your Poana. You could also use your California, you know, either college golfers or where they're from. Give them a slight bump when it comes to your models. I would definitely, if it's a tiebreaker, I should say if you're between two golfers, let it be a tiebreaker. If one grew up in California, that's probably the best way to go. You can also find some additional notes that are here. Whether or not they're important to you or not, I don't know. Not that big of a deal to me. I guess this is interesting. It's been very wet leading up to the tournament. That'll make the course softer. It'll also make the rough harder to hit out of, but the rough really doesn't come into play at this golf course or these golf courses. It's more so the wind. Like, the wind is a big defense for this tournament and for both of these golf courses. So keep that in mind. Again, there isn't much you can do on Thursday, Friday trying to build lineups for that. I think most of the issues are going to happen, you know, Sunday, all day Sunday. So we shall see. So what's up with the golf course dogs? You're talking about like the maintenance, like the grounds crew guys that have dogs that go on the golf course? Joanne celebrated my 60th birthday yesterday, so hoping to do good this week. Hey, happy birthday, and I hope you do well as well. Hope you do good as well. Also remember, tempo affects this tournament too. Yeah, I mean, that's why all the big names never really came to this tournament, because it was really slow. It's very much like the American Express. So it's very much like the American Express. 7-hour rounds. That's what was at, I mean, if you didn't know that, that's how slow the American Express played. That's how slow this tournament will play Saturday or Thursday, Friday. But there are less golfers in the field. There are less amateurs in the field. So hopefully it speeds up. I mean, this is the other thing about this tournament. It's a different setup. You know, instead of 3 courses and a 36-hole cut, now there are 2 courses and no cut. And instead of there being 156 golfers total, there are only 80 golfers total. So it's super interesting. It will be I mean, I don't know how to handicap this tournament. I don't know, like, I'm still going to use the buckets. I'm still going to use the normal strategies that I typically do, but it is very, very interesting with lineup building, strategy, and stuff like that, because there are so many unknowns. No idea what the weather's going to do. No idea, you know, with this being a much stronger field than in the past, how that's really going to affect stuff. But yeah, it'll be, again, interesting. That's the word of the day. Interesting. They had 2 listed, or they had 2 dogs listed as golf course dogs. Oh, is that what you saw? See, Paul, I'm just in the zone, plus streaming. You kind of black out sometimes. You don't even see. I'm really interested. Oh, golf course dogs. That's cool. When I lived in California, we had a dog that we hired a guy that brought a dog in to chase out all the geese and all the coots. Those are real birds. Look them up. Black birds with red beady eyes. Coots. C-O-O-T-S. Ugly little things. And the only way, because the geese and those coots got used to all of, like, the little animals that you, like the plastic animals that you propped up to try to scare them, you know, like you'd have the little coyote whatever. They never got scared of that, but you bring a dog to chase them, oh yeah, they do that. And also, you know, sometimes just having a dog on the golf course just calms everybody for some reason. There was a golf course I worked at in St. Cloud where the owner's son always had a dog around and everybody loved it. So Gabe goes, hey guys, can you build Hobbling Cantlay Hosler? Sure, absolutely. And Ryan goes, stop stealing one of my guys. And a Homa and Rose. Sure, we can do that. All right, so those are the 2 golf courses. Pebble Beach, Spyglass, you can use those as data points as well. See which golfers do better at those golf courses. Going into the, well, I suppose I have one other piece when it comes to golf course. I always like to try to track, you know, what shot shape matters at each of the golf courses. And I had all 3 in here. But obviously we're not using Monterey. We are just doing Pebble Beach and Spyglass. Pebble Beach, it Doesn't really require one shape or over the other. A lot of approach shots, draws, seem to be the best shot shape into the hole. Again, this only improves scoring chances. It doesn't mean it's necessary. So Pebble Beach is pretty open to both shot shapes. Straight balls obviously work at any golf courses or any golf course. So keep that in mind. And then when you get to Spyglass, nothing really matters. I just like to show this because sometimes there are golf courses where you really want a particular shot shape. Here, you really don't need it. And if you want to see, I do have on the cheat sheet their shot shapes, their preferred shot shapes here. Some of the golfers I still have yet. I actually started updating it. I had a user email me and go, "Hey, you've got some holes in your data." It's like, yeah, I just haven't prioritized like getting some of this information in there. But most of it's here. If you want to look at some of the golfers and if you want to build lineups based off of shot shapes, go for it. It's there for you in the cheat sheet. Again, link in the description below. But going to the tournament, one thing I like to, again, just to remind you, it's a no-cut event. There are 80 golfers in the field. I've heard murmurs of other people withdrawing. I think there were like 4 or 5 that were questionable, that are not sure to play. Like one of the one and done contests that I used to be a part of, that I'm following on Twitter, removed 5 golfers from their pool. I don't know if they've already withdrew and the PGA Tour just hasn't, said anything, or Twitter hasn't caught on or anything like that. But like I said, murmurs. I'm not sure if it's true, but there could be more withdrawals, especially with Sunday being uncertain. Who knows? And if they're talking about a Monday finish or a Tuesday finish, you can expect more people to withdraw. So again, who knows? It's a big purse. It's a lot of money for first place. I think 3.6 million. So that's why you see some of the best golfers here. You're also going to get more strength of field, or I should say OWGR points that'll be awarded to first place. More FedEx Cup points get rewarded to first place. So that's why these guys are here. The strength of field is 741. If we were to look at previous years, so that's 2024, 2023 was 175. I've never seen a bigger swing for strength of field. Yeah, see, it hovers around that 175 mark. So that was 2022. This is 2021. Do I have OWGR? I do not. Okay. So I just have it recorded for 2022, 2023, and now 2024. So a huge spike in strength of field. I don't know what that's really going to do for your, typical tournament history, guys, because there are certain golfers that come to this event that play every single year, like Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Rose, Matt Fitzpatrick. I mean, he showed up last year and the year before, I believe. So like these guys show up. Looks like Homa's been here a couple times. Maybe? I'm not sure. No, Homa's never been here. Oh, Victor Hovland's another guy. So I have course history here. You can see which golfers have played here before and which ones have not. Scotty Scheffler's making his debut. And now he's played the US Open that was at Pebble, but not the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Same goes with Colin Morikawa and Ludwig, Cam Young, Hideki Matsuyama. He might have played, I don't think so, never mind. I was gonna say he might have played prior to 2013, where my data goes back to, but probably not. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to tournament history. I saw chat and got distracted. I'll come back to that. I don't really necessarily think, I shouldn't say I don't think, I don't know. I don't know how all of this is going to relate to lineup building. I don't know, or results that'll happen at the end of the week. I always think cream rises to the crop, or Jesus, cream rises to the top. I had the Randy the Macho Man thing in my head. I'm the cream of the crop. I think you still want to target your top end golfers. You know, course history guys, that's fine, but I would stick with your elite golfers for sure. Okay, so that's the course and tournament information. Let's get into pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. I forgot to mention that during the intro, but that is what we will be covering. Okay, again, presented to you by Fantasy Golf Pod. It's gonna be good. We start in 2018 for our optimal lineup. We have $200 that we left on the table for that optimal lineup, and believe it or not, it started with Ted Potter Jr. at $7,100, but we had a 10, 9, 8, 7. You add Ted Potter with it, and then a 6. Believe it or not, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. If you're new to the channel, that is what I usually like to talk about every single week. Start there. That's your template. A 10K golfer, a 9K golfer, an 8K golfer, 2 7s, and 1 6. Start there. And then make substitutions as you see fit, but don't make a lot. One thing I would avoid, putting 4 more 8K golfers in your lineup, 3 or more 9K golfers in your lineup. It might feel like it's worthwhile this week, but more often than not, we don't see 3 9K golfers in the optimal lineup or in the GPP winning lineup. Moving on to 2019, the optimal actually left $0 on the table. It used up all 50,000. And what you had was Jason Day, 10K, 2 9Ks, 2 6Ks. Where am I missing? Oh, and a 7K. Okay, let me say that over again. That's a 10K, 2 9s, 1 7, and 2 6s. So that's definitely one way you can build a lineup this week. And I think it actually probably applies more so for this week's tournament than any other AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Because of the limited field, the no-cut event, you want some of your best golfers to be paired up together to go along with maybe some scrubby guys. That would work. In 2020, we actually left $1,500 on the table for... Actually, let me go back. 2019, I forgot to go over the GPP winning lineup. That one had a 10K, 2 9s, 1 7, make that 2 7s, and then a $6,100 Julian Etlane. Man, that's an old name. I've not heard in a long time. That was your GPP winning lineup. Now again that was a 10, 2 9s, 2 7s, and 1 6. Going to 2020, we had again our optimal left $1,500 on the table, but it did have a 10K golfer. It had a 9K golfer in it. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7K golfers in that lineup that made up, or that total up to be 48,500. Our GPP winning lineup start with a 10K golfer, a 9K golfer, $8,200 Ches Reavie down here, 2 7K golfers, make that 3 7K golfers, a guy who missed the cut. I always bring this up like during the American Express. It's during the Pebble Beach Pro-Am when there was a 3-day cut. You actually had a guy in the lineup, the GPP winning lineup, that missed the cut. Isn't that crazy? I don't think that's going to happen this week. Obviously there's no cut, so it obviously isn't going to happen. I don't know what I was thinking. Never mind. Just scratch that out. Scratch that out of your memory banks. I also created a SweetSpot optimal, which is a more realistic optimal. It usually follows the 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 approach, and you actually had all 6 golfers inside the top 5. So you had Jason Day at 10.3, Phil at 9,500, Berger at 8,900, 2 7s, 1 6. That used up all $50,000 of the salary. Your optimal scored 653.5. SweetSpot optimal, I did not total up. 650. So it was 3 points, exactly 3 points behind the optimal winning lineup, and the GPP winning lineup scored 601.5. So that's actually pretty darn close to the optimal for having one guy miss the cut. Again, don't have to worry about a missed cut this week, but it shows that there's still room for improvement for the GPP versus the optimal. In 2021, your optimal left $1,100 on the table. Start with a a 10K golfer, $90 or $9,700 Jordan Spieth. So 10-1 Berger, $9,700 Jordan Spieth. 7, 7, 7, 7. So that's twice now we've seen a 10, 9, 4 sevens. Very interesting. Your GPP winning lineup had Berger at 10-1, Homa at 88, Cameron Tringali at 85, Kevin Streelman at 89. You know, I told you don't do 4 8K golfers. Well, here's 3 8K golfers. $7,100 Nate Lashley, and I need to search for the other guy. $6,500 Akshay Bhatia back in 2021. Must have been an amateur or in on a sponsor's exemption. So that's pretty good. That's your $1 GPP winning lineup. That scored 606.5. Your optimal scored 667, so 60 points between the two. And then your sweet spot optimal was a 10K, a 9K, and believe it or not, 4 7Ks. So that's the third time I've mentioned that in 3 years. That scored 664.5. So that was, again, 3 points behind the optimal lineup. Going to 2022, we have $600 left on the table for your optimal lineup. It starts with a 10-3 Jordan Spieth, $9,200 Matt Fitzpatrick. So what have we seen each year? A 10K and a 9K. And then after that, doesn't really matter. It's whatever fits. But this year it's a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. That is your optimal lineup. Again, that used up 49.4, and that scored 689 points. Your GPP winning lineup had Matt Fitzpatrick at 92, Seamus Power at 94, McCarthy at 82, Hoagie at 85, $7,200 Troy Merritt, $7,500 Joel Damon. That is a very balanced build. 2 9s, 2 8s, 2 7s. That scored 656.5. That was 30 points behind the optimal lineup. That's pretty good. So there you go. You can win you can win a GPP with a very balanced build using no 10K golfers. But again, in order to take down the GPP, if you aim for the optimal, that's your best shot, because I mean, there's 30 points between the two, and Spieth scored 110 points. You know, if you put Spieth in your lineup with, well, actually the top 4 guys, and sprinkle in the other 2 that are down here that you know, scored a decent amount of points, that's the only way you take down a GPP. In 2023, your optimal left a ton of money on the table, $2,200. That was $9,200 McCarthy, $9,500 Justin Rose, and then what, 3 7s and a 6? Yep, that's exactly what it was. So that is 2 9K golfers, 3 7K golfers, and 1 6K. That's stupid. Don't build a lineup like that. You're never going to find the right mix of golfers to put together. Avoid that at all costs. Your GPP winning lineup actually left $700 on the table. That's one of the rare GPP winning lineups that leaves at over $500 on the table and takes it down. But this one had a $9,500 Justin Rose, $9,200 Denny McCarthy, 79 Brennan Todd, 68 Peter Malnati, 74 Bramlett, and an $8,500 Kevin Kisner. So to say that differently, that's 2 9s, an 8, 2 7s, and a 6. 49.3. Yuck. A more realistic optimal is your sweet spot optimal. That scores 635. Your optimal scored 667, and your GPP winning lineup scored 621. So this one is between your optimal and GPP winning lineup. Again, getting to the optimal is impossible. $2,200 on the table, just don't do it. This sweet spot optimal starts with a $10,300 Victor Hovland, $9,500 Justin Rose, and then 4 7s. So that is a very, very common build. I actually could see that happening this week, especially with the 2 11K golfers that we have. So if I go to 2024 and we look at our salaries up here, we have 4 guys that are 10K and above. I personally don't care which one you want to use, because Rory and Scheffler are such great talents that just based off their talent alone, they could win this. Xander has course history. It's not great. Victor Hovland finished 13th here last year, so that's pretty good. If you wanted to use those two guys, Hovland or Schauffele, by all means do so. If you want to use like McIlroy, Scheffler, again, I don't see any issue with that. I think it just obviously comes down to roster construction. There are a lot of good 9K golfers to pair up with 8K golfers as well. But I do think you're going to want to do the 10, 9, 8 start because the 8K range is just too rich. Like, yeah, there are some good 7K golfers down here, but the 7K range is a lot smaller than what those other tournaments that we were just talking about are. Usually what you'll get in most DraftKings tournaments is about 40 some golfers in the 7K range. This week we have 26. So I think just based off of volume alone, the chance of getting 4 7K golfers in the optimal lineup or a GPP wing lineup, probably not super great. So I think it's probably best to start 10-9-8 and then build lineups that way, or 10-9-9. I'm not going to do 9-9. I'm not going to start with 2 9s and skip the 10K range. I think I am 100% exposure to 10K golfers and then building lineups from there. So that is what I think of when it comes to pass optimal in GPP winning lineups. I'm going to do my first roll call. Whoever's in chat right now, if you just tell me, actually just say here. If you're in chat, say here. I'm going to give you an entry into the giveaway, a free entry into the giveaway. This is the first roll call of the night. Let me know that you're here and I will give you an entry into a roll call. An additional entry into the giveaway. And again, this goes towards the monthly giveaway, which is worth $110 currently. If you're not yet subscribed, do so. It's the only way you get into the entry. It's the only way you can win. Actually, that reminds me. I can update that on my end. All right, Daryl is here. Mr. D'Lo is here. I'll give this another, what, 10, 15 seconds? I know some people's stream delays are probably a little bit larger. Just make sure you hit that live button down on the left side. They'll get you straight, or they'll fast forward you all the way to present. Mr. Awaken Up is here. All right. I'm gonna do a countdown here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I'm gonna open it back up to everybody. Again, you got to be subscribed to get those free entries. So. Daryl Mooney, buy any or get any good cards today? So I actually bought one of those rare packs, the T-Box set, and pulled an Elite Alex Smalley. So that pays for the box that I got. Hopefully I can sell it for, more, because it's currently on the marketplace for more. So hopefully we do that. But yeah, that's what I had. Well, that's what I got. Otherwise, no. I didn't get anything good. Okay, let's move on to the next segment. We're gonna review the Farmers Insurance Open. I'm gonna show you how well the SweetSpot process did, how well the Marquee Tee Times did, all that good stuff. The whole SweetSpot process. So Matthew Pavon is your winner at 13 under. That was kind of interesting. These two guys at the top, 13, 12. You also had Thomas Dietrich up there for a while, who kind of didn't have a super great Sunday. But he was what, 11 under or 10 under heading into the final round, and then just sputtered. It happens. It's Tory. Yeah, it was interesting with Matthew Pavon winning. The one thing that matters to me when I cover the reviews, going over how well the buckets did throughout the week. Because I talk about the bucket system, I project how many golfers are going to finish inside the top 10. And basically what I like to say is you kind of want to play that amount of golfers in your lineup. So a projection is just that. It's a projection of how many golfers I think are going to be inside the top 10. It doesn't necessarily mean that's how many golfers you want to put in your lineup, because quite frankly, if 3 10K golfers fit that or are in that projection, you can't play them all. You'd only play 2 or maybe just 1. So basically I have my projections here. I will first look at how many golfers finish inside the top 10. If that number is within the projection, it's a success. If it falls below or above, but the optimal lineup, the amount of optimal lineup golfers fall inside that projection, then the bucket is successful. I also do a sweet spot optimal that follows the buckets 100% correctly to the T. And if it beats the GPP winning lineup at the end of the day, that means the sweet spot process was 100% successful. And the sweet spot optimal also puts in the Marquee Tee Times when figuring out which golfers are a part of the sweet spot optimal. So this number here, the sweet spot optimal, is not baked into the success formulas that I have here. But if we go through all of these, again, it's a projection. We're looking at this column and this column. So these two columns, if those numbers fall inside the projections I have here, we give it a yes or success. Now the bucket that we see that's a no, you see how it says 0 to 1? Now you're going to hear this when I go over the bucket system for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. You always have a 2-point buffer, 2-point buffer between the minimum and the maximum. And obviously the minimum can't be less than 0, so it's always going to be 0, which means the maximum will always be 2. Top 10, there were 2 golfers in the top 10. They're also in the optimal lineup. This bucket's actually successful, despite saying no. I got to write that in the formula somehow, but I just haven't had the time yet. I don't even know if I'm going to, if I'm going to be honest, because I have more important things to work on. But with that bucket being successful, just because the formula doesn't work out to make it, to show it as successful, we have all yeses, meaning the bucket system was 100% successful. And again, if you follow the video, I'm giving you projections of how many golfers from each bucket you want to put in your lineups. That helps because there's a chance you could have all 6 golfers that you like from a bucket. And I think I put money on the line with Byron last week, and I told him, like, you don't want to play 6 golfers out of this bucket. If you're going to do that, you will lose money. And I don't remember where it is. I should find it, and I should reiterate that to him and just show him the proof. Because if my buckets are successful, it means I won. It means whatever he was interested in was never going to work. And that's why I do the bucket system. It's like I have to really track. I should put a spreadsheet together and track the success of it. It has been over 93% successful throughout the entire existence I've been doing this. Every single week I come in here and I tell you what, usually 33 out of 36 buckets are successful, 34 out of 36, 35 out of 36, or all 36 buckets were successful. And here we go. They were all successful. So if we take a look at the Marquee Tee Times, you're going to find something very interesting here. If I go by group rank, top to bottom, these are our Marquee Tee Times. 3 golfers per group. The rule is you want to select 2 to 4 golfers to build lineups with out of these Marquee Tee Time golfers. and you don't want to pair them together. So I've highlighted all three. What we would want to see are more black tick marks here. You see how Hideki Matsuyama has a black tick mark and it says optimal lineup? That's a note in the Excel spreadsheet. That means he's a part of the optimal lineup. Now, the GPP winning lineup are the golfers that are highlighted in blue. So you see Hideki Matsuyama and Ludwig Aubert. They were in the GPP winning lineup, which I will go over here shortly. They're golfing together. Someone won a GPP pairing two guys up together. It's going to happen. That's just how it goes. However, that's not the rules of the SweetSpot process. The rules of the SweetSpot process is to grab two golfers not in the same group. And here I have Max Homa. So this little green salary, that indicates these are SweetSpot optimal lineup golfers. So Max Homa and Hideki Matsuyama, who they are the golfers you wanted to anchor your lineups around when building last week for the SweetSpot optimal. Now, those two golfers, I mean, I liked Hideki. I wanted Hideki in most of my lineups. But I was doing like Max Homa and maybe Sahith, or I was doing Patrick Cantlay and Tony Finau, which actually would have worked pretty well. Patrick Cantlay did miserable, so never mind. If Cantlay could have finished inside the top 10, that was probably the way to go. It would have been Cantlay, Finau, and Matsuyama most likely. But really the test is looking at the optimal versus the GPP winning lineup versus the SweetSpot optimal. And I forgot to put salaries in here. What an amateur. It's all right. At least I marked them, so it was easy to just do that. We do have the points in there. Yes, we do. So the big key here, I'm just gonna go over what each one was. So your optimal lineup left $5,300 on the table, and it started, I mean, you're never gonna build a lineup like this, but it had Hideki Matsuyama in it, Nikolai Højgaard, Matthew Pavon, Steven Yeager, Nate Lashley, and Jake Knapp. 44-7. That scored 886 points. That's not right. That's not right. Scored 617.5 points. I totally forgot to update this completely. Your optimal lineup, or your GPP wing lineup, started with Nikolai Højgaard, Steven Yeager, Bo Hosler, Ludwig, Patrick Rogers, Hideki Matsuyama. Used up $49,700. And just to calculate the points here, that scored 567 points. So it's about 400 or 40 points behind the optimal lineup. Your SweetSpot optimal started with Pavon, Nikolai Højgaard, Steven Yeager, so an 8K and 2 7s. Make that 3 7s in Bo Hosler. $8,500 Matsuyama, 10-1 Max Homa. Used up 49,500, and that scored 596.5 points. 596.5. So just to recap, optimal scored 617.5, GPP winning lineup scored 567, and SweetSpot optimal scored 596.5. So it was directly between the optimal and the GPP winning lineup, meaning the SweetSpot process was once again 100% successful, going over marquee tee times and buckets. And the whole point of going over those things are to restrict you from putting lineups that will just be dead in the water. That's pretty much how I look at the whole SweetSpot process. It's like you want to select certain golfers to put together in a lineup that won't hurt you, and you don't want to mix together certain profiles or that match each other. You know, like I think that's a Ben Raza thing where you want to stack certain stats together. Nah. I'll show you time in and time again. You don't want to do that. It worked one time in one tournament, and that was it. Otherwise, it has like a 97% failure rate. It's probably higher than that. It's 99% failure rate. Don't do that. And again, the bucket system helps prove that, and I can go through it very, very slowly if you want me to. Okay. So that is reviewing the Farmers Insurance Open. I do that because then once we get on to the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, I want to go over the bucket system, make you feel comfortable with the success of the bucket system, and hopefully get you on some golfers that you want to build lineups around or feel comfortable building lineups around. What do I need to hide? Do we just hide top 5 frequencies? Sure. So the bucket system, by the way, is on the cheat sheet. If you go to the cheat sheet, you look at the bucket system tab, you can find what I'm about to go over right now. What I like to do is go ahead and put a filter on this. I'm going to open up all of my filters. In case you have filters on yours, open them all up so we can look at this together. Or, you know, I don't know the word I'm looking for. What I like to do is just look at the projections. By the way, if you want the optimizer, all the projections are already built in here. Basically, it's telling you you want 1 of this, 2 of that. If it's pretty close to being under one, you know, under the min or over the max. So for instance, if I were to go to, let's see, which one actually works? There was one that I was looking at not too long ago. Was super close to being less than. Is this one? No. I thought I had like a 2.0 number. I guess not. This is pretty close, 2.17. So if this actually was below 2 or in the max, it was like 2.01, I would probably lower the minimum to 0 and keep the maximum up to 3. So the rule is we round up with the max projections, we round down with the minimums. So this very first bucket is 1.66, we round down to 1. 2.77, we round up to 3. So that's technically 1 to 3. That's how I look at these projections. So keep that in mind. Again, if the number is really close, I sometimes will change it just to be extra safe, extra cautious. These that say 0 to 1, again, round down, this is 0, this is 1. Remember, we want a 2-point buffer. So this is technically 0 to 2, 0 to 2, 0 to 2, but there are 2 golfers in this bucket. We can open it up for those 2. It's unlikely, but we'll keep it open for those 2. But if there were 1 or less, obviously, it really doesn't matter. 1 or 2. Joanne and Anna, I think your guys' streams are a little bit behind. If you're just saying here now. I know, Joanne, you said here a while ago, but hit that little live button down over by the play button just to zoom you guys up to current. That way you're not too far behind. But since I know both of you guys are subscribers, I'll go ahead and put your guys' name down. Okay. Going back here, what I like to do is just go over the anchor buckets. I like to really pinpoint some of these buckets. Let's go. I want to do actually greater than or equal to 2. And basically what this is going to ensure, the minimums are at least 1. And an anchor bucket is telling me I want at least 1 of these guys or more. So that's basically what this bucket is telling me right now. I then also want to minimize how many, you know, I don't want buckets to have large numbers in them. So I'm actually just going to deselect 46, 35, 27, and 26. I just want 25 and under. You can also do that by filter by condition and going less than or equal to. You can do it that way. This way I think is probably easier to show you guys in case you wanted to follow along. Now, it looks like we have 6 anchor buckets, which is actually pretty good. It's good to talk over 6. The first bucket that I find important are golfers who had a top 20 finish last year at this event. every single year dating back to 2014, we have seen a golfer from this bucket inside the top 10, meaning course history matters. Having a good finish last year matters at this event. Now, normally we see about 17.8 per year. We have 14 this year. That probably will matter to some extent. Now, we've had at least 2 inside the optimal lineup every year. That's what this min here means. We've had at least 2. Maybe with less golfers in the bucket than we normally see, probably brings this projection down, and I have it set to 1 to 3. But that is an important bucket to grab golfers from. Let's take a look to see who these guys are. If I clear and go to 1, I'll scroll over. You can see they all have top 20 finishes from last year's event. Victor Hovland leads it at 10,200, and then it drops way into the 7K range. Not way into the 7K range, but to the 7K range. $7,800 Bo Hosler, 275s and Denny, and the defending champ Justin Rose. Then it's Eric Cole, which I think is a wonderful play this week at $7,300. Everyone loves Eric Cole, but I think this is probably the week you should probably go to Eric Cole. Kevin Yu, not terrible. Played it 1 year. Same with Eric Cole. Top 20. He actually had a top 10. Kevin Yu. So we have a few 7K golfers to pair up with our 10K golfer. I should say a handful. And then it drops down in the 6K range, which I wouldn't mind going back to someone like Taylor Moore, who we all thought was going to do really well last week. Did make the cut, but didn't do so hot. Yeah. Interesting selection. Like, if we want 1 to 3 golfers from this bucket, I think the slam dunk is just Eric Cole, right? $7,300, super easy to build lineups around. I also don't mind going back to like Bo Hosler or Victor Hovland, really. Like, I wouldn't mind starting a lot of my lineups Victor Hovland, Eric Cole, if I'm gonna be honest with you. So that's I don't know, not sexy names to talk about. Victor Hovland, yeah, I like him, especially with the weather conditions. I know a lot of people are talking about this. You know, he's from Norway, so the crappy weather over by the ocean, hey, he should be used to that kind of stuff. Yeah, well, he also has lived in Oklahoma forever, and he's on the PGA Tour, meaning he's usually in really good weather all the time. I don't mind it. I don't mind that narrative. He is second in my model. So, yeah, I don't mind going to Victor Hovland. I might actually anchor most of my lineups around him. I think it's a perfect spot for him. Going to the next bucket, last week ones. So golfers who finished inside the top 20 at the Farmers. Now, we don't have the same frequency or success rate that we see from the last year one bucket in the optimal lineups, but 50% frequency rate's not terrible. We have 4 more golfers than we typically see in this bucket. High success rate, and there's at least 1 inside the top 10 every single year. So if you want to follow along with me in that cheat sheet, again, there's a link in the description. All you want to do is just make sure there's no filters currently active, clear everything out of the last week bucket, select 1, and that's where we get our top 20 finishers from the Farmers Insurance Open. Again, the projection here is 1 to 3. It's almost 1 to 4. 2.98, super close to 4. So if you were already thinking maybe grabbing 2 golfers from this bucket, maybe we do. And what are some notable names? Like, we saw Bo Hosler in that last bucket. We saw Kevin Yu in the last year one bucket, I should say. Those are the 2 guys. The only 2 guys. Everyone else. Whoa, I'm sorry. Mark Hubbard. Wow. You know, when I was doing my initial analysis, I didn't even see this guy. Mark Hubbard could be a decent play. Thomas Dietrich obviously had a terrible Sunday. Maybe people just like, you know what? I can play better golfers. I know Cam Davis is at $6,700. A lot of people might be going to Cam Davis. Perfect time to pivot. Maybe. You have last week's winner, Matthew Pavon, in this bucket. But I probably think you want to stick with golfers up here. And if you were going with the last year one bucket and you're playing Victor Hovland, and then maybe you anchor around Victor Hovland, Eric Cole, going Max Homa or Ludwig Aubert, not terrible. Tony Finau, Matsuyama Højgaard, not terrible. Maybe grabbing one of these other 7K golfers or even a 6K golfer just to fulfill this line or this bucket, might be worth it. You could have 3 core golfers or 4 core golfers pretty easy if you like any of these guys. Going to the next one are course history 3s. So just having middle of the pack course history, that's what this bucket represents. 1 to 3. We've seen 1 inside the top 10 every single year. Not 1 in the optimal lineup, but a high frequency rate of 83%. So I think, what is that? 4 out of 6 years? Is that what that is? No, that'd be 2 out of 3. Is that 5 out of 6 years then? Yeah, 5 out of 6, 83.3%. If I select all, remember, remove all your active filters, and then clear everything from the course history bucket and just select 3. These are the golfers that we want 1 to 3 golfers from. We have 22 in this bucket. We normally see 37. So that actually kind of decreases it. These projections account for all of that, by the way. It looks at how many are in the bucket this year, what their strength of field points are that go towards the bucket, and then their success rate. Success rate's not super high. It's usually is a volume-driven bucket. So I could stick to 1, maybe 2 golfers from this bucket and maybe just move on. Like I said, there are 22 golfers in this bucket and some very notable names. Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick. Bo Hauser now has been in all 3 of the anchor buckets we've talked about. Is Mark Hubbard in here too? I wonder. Yes, he is. There's Mark Hubbard. He's been in all 3 anchor buckets as well. And what, Kevin Yu is the only other one that could have been, and he is not. So either way, Fleetwood's an interesting choice. Good 8K golfer. Matt Fitzpatrick, another really good 8K golfer to choose from. Henley, I built some lineups yesterday without the Marquee Tee Times included. Very interesting selection. I actually have another segment that I'm going to add to this video to go over the 7K range. I did this during the American Express and I did it last week, but I never really followed up with it. I never really showed you guys. I talked about it in the stream, but I didn't show you how well it did. I'll do that in this one. But yeah, $7,800. That's a pretty good choice. Chris Kirk, I don't mind. Wyndham Clark, I know some people think this is the best pivot. He's 7th in my model, by the way, which is kind of crazy. And then, you know, lower 6 or 7Ks and 6K golfers. That's pretty good. Not bad. But yeah, we want 1 to 3 golfers from this bucket in our lineup. Moving on to the next anchor bucket, recent form 1s. We also want 1 to 3. There are 13 golfers in this bucket. We normally see around 8. And I think there's 13 golfers in this bucket because we have some of the best golfers on the PGA Tour playing this week. Where normally this is usually a resting spot for or a week off for most of these top end golfers. So recent form 1 means the best recent form. We have a handful of golfers, 13 of them. And we want somewhere between 1 to 3 golfers to anchor our lineups around. Scheffler stands out. So too does Xander, because Xander has also been another anchor bucket. So too has Max Homa. All these golfers up at the top, all very interesting plays. Remember, we want 1 to 3. So I wouldn't play more than 3. 1 or 2, I think, is probably the number we really want. But if you find a third one that you like, we sure can do that. That is fine. And I just re-hit, and now I'm up to speed. Wonderful. We are in the building, says Shelly Carn. What's going on, man? Show off all the GIFs that you got. By the way, there is a little join button down there. Hit that join button and get a nice little badge like Shot Like Harden. And use the, not GIFs, the emojis that he gets. And in the future, when I have member only, I might even do member only giveaway opportunities. So the red tier is pretty cheap, $1.99. It's not terrible. But you also have the different tiers there with the different perks that you can get. Appreciate that, Shot Harden. By the way, if you win a giveaway, you can put that $5 towards one of the membership tiers, and then you can really show off. Plus, you get shout outs from me all the time. Might even do some member priority type of events or things in the chat. We'll see. Anyways, moving on. Strokes gain 1, strokes gain 2. Those are the next buckets. Strokes gain 1, 2 to 4. That might be challenging because usually your best golfers are in this bucket, but that's what I'm projecting to be inside the top 10. We haven't seen more than 1 in the optimal lineup, but we have 17 in the field this week where we normally see 7. If you don't know what the strokes gain buckets are, I highly encourage you to check out the bucket system video down in the description. It'll explain all about it. I do go over the strokes gain buckets. I think it takes maybe 5 minutes to cover that, and you will have a good understanding what they are. But yeah, 2 to 4 is what I project to be inside the top 10. That doesn't mean you can play 2 to 4, just throwing that out there. But let's say Rory and Xander finish first, and let's say Xander finishes first and Rory finishes 5th or 6th or 7th or somewhere inside the top 10. That is too far away for how much he costs to pay for his salary. Still counts as inside the top 10. The projections would still be right, but you wouldn't want to play Rory because having Xander and other golfers that are higher than Rory would be the best way to go. Of course, it's DraftKings points, but usually results are based around DraftKings points. But yeah, if you started here, I mean, 2 to 4. Let's see, what are some golfers we've already talked about? I mean, I've already mentioned Cam Davis. He's been in one other bucket. We've already talked about Tommy Fleetwood, Ludwig, Max Homa, Jordan Spieth. Really haven't talked about Patrick Cantlay. 4th in my model. I think this is the first bucket he showed up in. That's an anchor bucket. Xander's been in one before. This is the first one that Rory has been in as well. It doesn't really matter how many anchor buckets you're in. To me, it just increases your chances, does not make it for certain. But yeah, it's 2 to 4 golfers you want to select from here. So if you already had 6 in your mind that you wanted to play, maybe don't do that. It is a no-cut event, so it's not like you're going to really get hurt, but we're chasing the optimal lineup. We're trying to target the optimal lineup. And in order to do that, we gotta look for perfection. We gotta put the right components together. And I don't think 6 of these guys are going to do it. So keep that in mind. The other bucket that we wanted to look at is strokes gain 2. I'll just put that in here already. And we want somewhere between 1 to 3. 19 in the bucket this year. We normally see 22. We've seen at least 1 in the optimal lineup every single year. No more than 4, but that's still pretty good. And your strokes gain 2 guys. We already talked about Victor. We like Victor a lot this week. Number 2 in the model. And then we've got a bunch of just random names. We talked about Bohauser before, Nikolai Højgaard. We've brought those names up. Didn't really bring up any of the other guys all that much. Yeah, we talked about Taylor Moore and Matthew Pavon, but not really anyone else. So this is a way to get different. You can select, 1 to 3 golfers. I think 3 would be the max that I'd want to play out of this bucket anyways. But yeah, it obviously matters where you start. 10-2 Victor Hovland seems pretty good. Yeah, those are your anchor buckets for the week. Now, let's see. We have tee times. Okay, you guys want to see how the tee time thing works? I'll show you. It is interesting. So I have this input sheet. And just all these formulas in here. Basically what I need to do first, looks like they're all paired up in twosomes, which makes it interesting. We've done this before. We've done twosomes before. So I copy them from the PGA Tour website. Usually open up a new Excel sheet, wherever that's going to show up on my screens. Okay. Actually, I don't need to do this. Never mind. I don't need to do that. I just go in here. I paste them values only. And so they all show up in a vertical way. I hate that with the PGA Tour. It's very annoying. I'm going to scroll down to see where it cuts off. It cuts off right there. So I'm going to just remove all of this riffraff. We don't need this. Delete. hit the up button, and then from here, what I'm going to do is copy all this over. I have rules, instructions, I should say, for myself and for anyone that wanted to take over. Paste A plus B here. Paste that in there, and then recopy and paste values only, or copy paste. Then from here, I'll scroll down. I should have actually kept that last piece of information. Hold on, let me hit back. Okay. I did a no-no. So what I want to do is copy this over again, then paste only. And while it's still highlighted like this, go in here, view more selections, sort range by H, then by I. And we get rid of all the junk. You see how over here it says RSA, that's the Republic of South Africa, USA, all that's nonsense. I got rid of duplicates and all that good stuff, and now I just have my tee times. So I scroll down until I see ones in column H. That goes all the way down to here. Copy this over to my tee times here, paste it right here. So I have this little gray portion here. Watch the magic happen over here. Oh, not there. Want it there. Just auto populates and it figures out what the best groups are. Just sometimes Excel is, we just love it. So then we change the golf courses here to Pebble and Spyglass Hill. And now everything gets populated. God, just love when it all comes together. So we see all this right here. Just make sure it's all populated, which it is. Go to the DK page that I have everything stored. And there we go. We have all of the information right in here. Just beautiful. Copy this over to the spreadsheet. Go none. Paste it all right there. I like to paste. Ooh, whoa. Sometimes it does that. Paste that there and then values only. Scroll down. Looks like everything is populated. And then just to clean it up just a little bit, we'll get rid of the parentheses. Copy and paste this over to the cheat sheet for you guys to use. It's already in there, or I just pasted it in there. And then go back to my Pebble Beach thing. I do this first on mine, and then I copy it over to the cheat sheet. So basically what I want to see are, you see how there are some ties. That's going to happen. There will be ties sometimes. But I want to also double check. So this equals 6. Remember, this is rank ordered. So it's the best groups in the field. So this is rank ordered. So equals 6, 20, 22. This is my validation. 23, 26, 26. There, it's tied. 40, or not 40. Was that 40? We game this, and then we game this. There we go. There. Now they're together. They weren't together before. It's Rosie and Scheffler together, not Rosie and Morikawa. It's 33, 33, 35, 37. There we go. So basically what I want to do is just go 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. And I really don't care if there's a tie 10th and on. The top 9 groups are in the Marquee Tee Times. And that is mostly because of limitations in Excel. So I'm going to go ahead and make that dark green, make this light green, and then we have our Marquee Tee Times. Let me again copy and paste this over to the cheat sheet so you guys have that over there. There you go. Everything is updated now. I figured that it would probably come in. Now we can talk about Marquee Tee Times. I was going to bring up something else, but now we have our Marquee Tee Times. So perfect timing. Thank you, PGA Tour, for getting this out. So Marquee Tee Times, the rule is Of the top 9 groups, we select 2 to 4 golfers to anchor our lineups around, and we don't want to pair golfers together. Now, I did this during the American Express, and it worked perfectly like it normally does. So I have these groups all highlighted. I want to zoom in more than what I currently have so you guys can see it a little bit better. Our first group is Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantlay. Well, I wanted to build Victor Hovland lineups already. This is pretty perfect. I will probably put Hovland lineups together. I might even go Patrick Cantlay as my second guy. Maybe I don't start with Hovland. Could start with Cantlay. Then we actually have Jason Day and Wyndham Clark as group 2, which is interesting. I think that probably has a lot to do with course history. I mean, Wyndham Clark is 7th in my model, so that just shows up pretty well. I imagine when we use the optimizer, Wyndham Clark will be the optimizer will select Wyndham Clark quite a bit. Then we have Rory McIlroy and Ludwig Aubert. That will be a group very fun to watch. Lots of, well, depending on the weather, but a lot of firework potential between those 2 golfers. I like that. Then we have Denny McCarthy and Eric Cole, Tommy Fleetwood, Ricky Fowler. That's interesting. Scheffler with Rose. Rose is 32nd in my model, and that's with the win, which is crazy. He won last year, but he just must not be rating out very well in the model. That's weird. And then it's Colin and Tony, Justin Thomas and Jordan. Of course, they put those 2 guys together. Thomas and Spieth, Benny Ann, Bo Hosler. Interesting. So I'm not going to really go over all the golfers I want. Here's what I'll say. And here we go. Here's the second opportunity. Here's the second roll call. Of the golfers I have highlighted, give me 2 to 4 golfers you would like to anchor your lineups around. This is a roll call opportunity for you guys. 2 to 4 golfers that you see on the screen that you'd like to anchor your lineups around. This will get you another entry into the giveaway. Like I said, I'm rewarding those for staying around, participating on the channel. So this is roll call. We'll call this roll call number 2. Two to 4 golfers, ladies and gentlemen. 2 to 4. While you guys here, I'll bring the screen up. Take a look. 2 to 4 from the highlighted golfers on the screen. I am going to update. I'm actually going to remove this from you guys. Sorry. We're going to go ahead and update this because everything is like, I keep it all the same so I can copy and paste over values really easy. Now we put this into the groups and we remove anything that's 10 or more. And this is the behind the scenes look, how it's done. None of these low price guys are in the Marquee Tee Times, and then we double check that we should have 18 numbers, and we do. And we go down here and we say, hey, we want 2 to 4. Booyah. Okay. Okay, that was roll call 2. I will honor some people that come in here a little late. I understand that YouTube could be a little odd, a little weird, and might delay the stream for you for some reason. So again, I'll honor those that come in here with 2 to 4 golfers yet again to anchor your lineups around. So now that we have that all set up, we can go ahead and build some lineups. Actually, before we get into that, here, I want to show something that I find super interesting. So I'm going to open up each one of these. You guys can't see it, it's off screen, but I'm opening up 3 Excel files. And I'm going to start with the American Express. So I have done bucket combinations in the past. And basically what bucket combinations are, I am putting together all the buckets together. Course history, last year, recent form, and last week. That's what this bucket over here is. And I put together all the different combinations. Course history last year, course history recent form, course history last week, last year recent form, last year last week, and then recent form last week. And I will have different combinations that I put together. And then I will do a count of how many golfers that were inside the top 20 of each event, dating back to whatever I have salaries for. And I do a count. You can see that over here. I have this sorted by highest to lowest. And the interesting thing, so I won a lot of money during the American Express. What I ended up doing was I put together different cores of these 7K golfers together. Look at that, Christian Bezuidenhout, second place. I had him with Ben Griffin in a lot of my lineups, as well as Alex Noren. This is where I won most of my money, with a group of these 3. Now, I also put Ryder, Hadley, Griffin lineups together, Ryder, Hadley, Noren lineups together, Ryder, Hadley, Bezuidenhout lineups together. So obviously these ones didn't do that great. I put Hadley, Griffin, Noren. You know, I did a whole different type of mixture of these golfers together. I won a lot of money that way. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to look at the farmers from last week. I'll push this over. Again, these are bucket combinations. So this is really getting into the weeds, really trying to find edges when it comes to, I should say edges, advantages when it comes to building lineups and strategizing for this. So again, I put all of the farmers insurance only results in here, all the bucket combinations together, and then it spits out, you know, the top bucket combinations over here. Oh, look at this. Now, yeah, there are 2 missed cuts in here. Not great. Ryan Fox, Billy Horschel, not great. Taylor Moore didn't do so hot. Michael Kim was doing well, but then finished 37th. So too was Justin Suh. He was up inside the top 10 or top 20 for a while, and then obviously didn't have a good Sunday. But Matthew Pavon was in there up top. I would never have thought this. Bo Hosler. I anchored a lot of my lamps around Bo Hosler. I only did 2 7K golfers. I only wanted to do 2. So I did a lot of Bo and Moore. I did a lot of Bo and Fox. And I also did a lot of Bo and Billy Horschel. Not the right golfers to put together. I was sticking to the top 4. I did not want Kim or anyone else below. I know a lot of people were on Kim. I just didn't care. What I should have done is just expand it a little bit more. And I kind of want to do that going forward. Like look at the top 10 or 9 or 9 or 10 golfers from the top of my 7K combinations and anchor those golfers together. It's a possibility that I could have got on Pavon somehow. Again, I didn't really show this. I showed it during the stream last week. I didn't necessarily I didn't put it on Twitter like I did in previous weeks. And then here's what the AT&T Pebble Beach one looks like. I thought this was really, really interesting. I was on Back Nine Bets. Him and Spencer Aguiar, they had a podcast together, and I mentioned, what about Sepp Straka? He is 9 points above anyone else when it comes to these bucket combinations in the 7K range. I don't necessarily care about course history or recent form or what he did last week. These are buckets that have shown up inside the top 10 very frequently. So Sepp Straka might be a good play this week. He also might not be. But what I am going to do is I'm going to look at these top 7 golfers. These are the top 9 right here. Maybe top 10, but we'll see. Top 10 would be Keegan Bradley on up, the golfers I have highlighted. And I mean, we've seen this with pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. We just went over that in the segment earlier in this video. We've seen a 10K and a 9K golfer with 4 7K golfers. It's possible that, you know, 2 of these guys, I would say 2. I wouldn't go more than 2. 2, maybe 3. Because if I actually, did I close that last one? Still have it up. I still have it up. So yeah, Matthew Pavon was first, Bo was 6, but if I scroll down to the bottom, yeah, there's some 7K golfers down here that you could have played. Like Steven Yeager would have, if you didn't play Steven Yeager, that's probably, I mean, if you use this and you're like, I'm never playing Steven Yeager, which kind of, I mean, I played some, I didn't play a lot. So how I look at this, I don't want to play more than, well, I guess in this week, I don't want to play more than 4 7K golfers. 3, I think I feel more confident putting 3 as my max. Of the 10 golfers for the Farmers Insurance, or I mean, I'm sorry, the Pebble Beach, of the 10 golfers that are up here, I think I'm going to want the optimizer to select 2 of these guys. And then let the optimizer select at least 1 more, maybe 2 more 7K golfers from the rest of the bunch. And guess what? I actually have that built into my optimizer. AM, PM, as you can see, there really isn't, there is no such thing as AM, PM when it comes to this event. But what I'm going to use the conditionals here for, look at the golfers that I've highlighted as AM, PM guys. You're going to find out that these are the guys that are in the top 10 of those buckets. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't do the 10th one in Keegan Bradley. We can change this though. We can make it Keegan Bradley. So here you go. Here are the 7K combination guys. I have built this into the optimizer. I'm doing this week. This is what my strategy is for the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Those 10 guys, I want a core of at least, well, I want to play at least 1. That's what I have down here. You see this down here? I have at least 1. I want it to select at least 1 golfer from this selection, not Rose. I don't know why I selected Rose, not Rose. Corey Connors. 1 golfer, but no more than 2. That's what I'm going to put in the conditionals. I want 1 of these 10 golfers in my lineup, no matter what, but no more than 2. And then I'm going to let the optimizer, if you look here for salaries, it's set at 1 to 3. I can change this to 4. I don't know if I want to. If I do, maybe 50% of my lineups will select it as 4, but I think I'm going to do 1 to 3. So this is really getting into the weeds, really getting down to the nitty gritty when it comes to strategizing, building lineups. Now, some people think this is nonsense. Why would you, like, these aren't performative stats. You can't project golfers to do well based off of a random set of data points or whatever. Yes, you can. What do you think strokes gain stats are? To me, looking at strokes gain stats and not understanding what strokes gain stats are is insane. I hear people up top all the time. Like, I mean up top as in like podcasting, the best podcasters when it comes to fantasy golf talk about strokes gain stats, and I know they don't know what they're talking about, because they'll say, oh, look at this, he's got 4 weeks of good putting stats, he's got his putter figured out. That doesn't mean he has his putter figured out. If you're not looking at the other stats and you're not digging into figuring out how does he have positive strokes gain stats, you're doing everyone a disservice, including yourself. So to me, why I look at buckets is because I'm a competitive golfer. You can tell certain golfers they like a specific place because of previous finishes. I'll use a very good example. Denny McCarthy. I shouldn't say this is a good example. Let's just say Justin Rose. Very good example. He won this tournament last year. It shows he's got a pretty good course history. This tells me the guy likes the golf course. and having a win just boosts your confidence. But what about a Kevin Yu, who finished 7th here last year? You don't think that adds to his confidence coming into the event? Oh, and by the way, he had a 6th last week. You don't think this guy is beaming with confidence coming into this event? Well, that's what like a shotgun analysis viewpoint would be. Well, what if I told you, yeah, well, golfers that have kind of come in with these buckets before, or with these types of results before, don't do so hot their second time or their next time. That might make you pump your brakes a little bit on playing someone like Kevin Yu. It also might not even matter, honestly. But a lot of this, to me, the buckets put checks and balances in place that you normally would not have had. Like, I like Eric Cole this week. Everybody and their grandma likes Eric Cole this week. Not in a selection of buckets that shows to be very worthwhile. Like, he has 2 more combination bucket pieces, whatever you want to call them, than Kevin Yu, who I just talked about. So, whereas like Sepp Straka, who no one is talking about, 37. I don't know what to call these. I don't know if we just call these percentage points. I don't know if we call them just 37 data points. 37 points. How about just 37 points? He has 37 points compared to Eric Cole's 10. Does that make Straka a better player than Cole? No, not when you're just comparing each other, but for this event, maybe that's the way, that's what you want to do. You want to play Sepp Straka instead of Eric Cole. Russell Henley wasn't really on my radar, neither was Chris Kirk, and despite a lot of people talking about Wyndham Clark being a good pivot, he might be a good pivot. So too with Alex Noren. He was actually in my dummy lineup. I put Alex Noren as my very first dummy lineup. I couldn't fit in Jordan Spieth, and I wanted Jordan Spieth in my dummy lineup, so then I moved down to Keith Mitchell. But yeah, I mean, like, these guys that have top 10 finishes last year, Keith Mitchell, Denny McCarthy, Brendan Todd, I'm going to be really curious if one of these 3 guys finish inside the top 10. Ryan, good night, man. Can you build me Hovland, Cole, Montgomery lines? Yeah, absolutely. I will do that. So yeah, I'd be really interested. Even Bo a little bit further down here, I'm also really interested in, just to see. I'll say this. I wouldn't put a Bo Hosler lineup together and a Kevin Yu lineup together. Why? Because these columns here, the last year and last week, they both have top 20s in both of those buckets. It usually doesn't show up inside the top 10 very often together. So I'd refrain from putting those guys together. So again, why I like going over the buckets, it shows this type of stuff. All right, that is it. That was the whole strategy portion. Let's get into building lineups. I wanted to show you that because I find it interesting. At the very least, it's interesting. It isn't going to give us all the answers we want, but I still find it interesting. So Harman didn't even make the top 26, D'Lo says. Was that top 26 for which stat? Just the bucket combination that I just went over? Was Harman in the 7K range? Oh, he's way down here. Technically, he's 24th. He made the top 24. Yeah, this is the entire 7K range, by the way. The 26 golfers that are in the 7K range, they're all here. Each and every one of them. And Harman's down here in 3rd. 3rd from the bottom. Just above you and just above Pavon. But like I showed you with the farmers, the golfers that are at the bottom did pretty well. So. All right, let's get into building lineups. We are where? 1 hour and 40 minutes. Yikes. Okay. I wonder what happens to the time. That's crazy. Alrighty then. So, If you already haven't, go ahead, put 2 to 4 golfers in the chat and I will build lineups around them. I'm going to look for the very first lineup consideration, which ends up being Gabe Browns. Hey, Eric, can you build a Hovland, Cantlay, Hosler for one group? This is no fault of Gabe's, but he definitely selected golfers that are playing together. He does this every single week, but he also shows up and then kind of jumps out because he either needs to sleep or he's got something going on. We're going to make the exception this week for him and allow 2 golfers from the same group to be selected. What I am going to do, so when you want me to build lineups, when we get to your lineups, you as the audience, if I select your 2 or 3 or 4 golfers that you want me to build lineups around, let me know if you want me to add the whole 7K, you know, my whole 7K strategy to it. If you don't want that, I will remove it. I'll remove it. But if you do want it, I can add it. So I'm just going to keep it at 3. And let's bump this down 49.2, and we're going to build 5 lineups each, 5 straight, 5 flat. I don't want to spend too much time building lineups. This lineup's really good though. Hovland, Cantlay, Finau, Wyndham Clark, Matthew Pavon, and who was that last one? Cam Davis? Yeah, so Cam Davis is also going to show up a lot. Copy and paste this over to a different field. I'm going to make this 100%. I think I'm going to scroll down to the 7K range. I'm not going to do 6s. I don't want to see the same 6K golfers show up, but we'll make these all 100. I'm going to save this one. It's a really good lineup. Very good lineup. Build another one. Switches it for Taylor Moore. So we go from Cam Davis to Taylor Moore, but it's the same 5 golfers. Let's see here. Do we want that? Probably not. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to bring back my exposures that I had saved. Primarily because I think it's the best way to kind of build lineups and see different types of lineups. So we'll run Optimizer again. What's going on, Chad? Long time no see. Hovland, Cantlay, Homa, Hole, Jaeger, Brandon Wu. Don't really care for Brandon Wu, so we'll kick him out. See what the next one will be. There we go. Switching it up. Love it. Hovland, Cantlay, Benny Ann, Russell Henley. Yeah, I love this lineup. This is a really good lineup. Hovland, ooh, 2 10K golfers and a 9K. That's spicy. Hovland, Schauffele, Cantlay, Ricky Fowler, Lucas Glover, Matt Kuchar. I think it's just ugly enough to be good. Hovland, Cantlay, Homa, Eric Cole, Brendan Todd, Luke List. Yeah, I'm cool with that too. That's a very interesting lineup build. That's number 4, and now number 5 goes to Hovland, Cantlay, Benny Ann, Corey Connors, Denny McCarthy, Emiliano Grillo. Yeah, that's another good one too. So those are 5 good lineups. What I'm going to do is copy these over, paste them to a different sheet. I already built lineups, if you can't tell. I'll go over these ones. I highlighted some in green that I thought were really good. And we will go to the next set, which is also from Gabe, which is fine. Gabe's not in the chat, so those in the chat, hold on to your horses. We will certainly get to your lineups. So he wants Homa, who is not in a Marquee Tee Time. Benny Ann, who we were just grabbing a ton of in the last little build iteration. And Justin Rose. Okay. We're going to switch the Marquee Tee Times to 1 for group 1 and rerun this. And it breaks. Why does it break? Let's see. Benny Ann's stroke chain 3, Homa's stroke chain 1, Rose's stroke chain 4, 6, 9. Why wouldn't this work? That's crazy. Let me take out Justin Rose and try to figure it out. Okay, so what do we see here? Justin Rose would have been last year one, so we would have hit our max for last year ones. That's probably what it was. Maybe? No, that can't be it. Last year sixes, we 3. Oh, was that it? That's what it was. So believe it or not, the optimizer is looking for golfers who have not played here last year. 3 of them, to be exact. And when you had those 3 golfers in, they were all... Never mind. Max Homa's a 6. 2. And then Justin Rose was a 1. What? Where is it? Where would it be erroring out? Oh, I see. It's 3 course history 2s. This is where it doesn't like it, because you have 3 course history 2 golfers and it is showing 2. Let's just double check on that. So we go down to course history 2. We want 0 to 2. We have seen 1 to 4, but we only have 9 in the bucket. Decent strength of field points going towards it. We had 0 to 3 in the optimal lineup. Yeah, 0 to 2 is probably the number. So we had too many, Gabe. That's what it ended up being. Too many course history 2 golfers. So I will make an executive decision. Well, how about this? We'll build 2 Homa Benny Ann lineups, 2 Homa Rose lineups, and then 2 Benny Ann and 2 Rose lineups. So your first lineup is Scotty Scheffler, Max Homa, Benny Ann, Wyndham Clark, Eric Cole, Taylor Moore, which is pretty good. Patrick Cantlay, Max Homa, Tommy Fleetwood, Benny Ann, McCarthy, and Emiliano Grillo. That's not terrible. Oh, we already did 2. Okay. Let's see what the next one is. Schauffele, Homa, Day, Benny Ann, Steven Yeager, Brendan Todd. It's also pretty good. So I'll save that one. We're going to skip out Benny Ann and bring in Justin Rose. Jordan Spieth, Max Homa, Cam Young, Russell Henley, Justin Rose, Matthew Pavon. That's a really good lineup too. Pretty balanced. Do another one. Cantlay, Homa, Day, Connors, McCarthy, Rose. Yeah, that's pretty solid too. I'm actually gonna take out McCarthy. Actually, I'm not going to say that one, but we'll do another bonus one. Cantlay, Homa, Matsuyama, Brian Harmon, McCarthy, Rose. I don't want 2 $7,500 golfers together, so I'm going to take out McCarthy. But if you like those guys, by all means, go ahead and save it. There we go. $9,700 Cantlay, $9,200 Homa, Sung Jae, Tom Kim, Justin Rose, Lucas Glover, leaving $600 on the table. I don't know how I feel about that, but one way to build a lineup. And then we're going to put Rose and Benny Ann together, which I think we saw a couple lineups previously with those guys in it. Xander, Ludwig, Benny Ann, Brian Harmon, Justin Rose, Wyndham Clark. It's pretty good. Mr. D'Lo, optimizer isn't pulling 6K much. Yeah, that's a lot to do because Gabe didn't select high-priced guys. So what the optimizer is trying to do, I think really there's so much value up here. Like Benny Ann, it looks at this metric column. You have Denny McCarthy at 1,000, Wyndham Clark at 10.5, Benny Ann at 10.2. Like all these guys that are over 1,000 that are 8K and less, they're going to be selected a lot because they're just good values. Then you scroll down to the 10K range, like Peter Malnati's not going to get selected because that's too low of a number. You know, like basically what you'd have to do is you see the guys up here. They're all 1,100 like points or more when it comes to their metric. Well, that $100 or 100 point bonus or difference between these 10K guys and the these other 1,000 point metric guys, because the salary is so different and the point total isn't that big of a deal, it's trying to pull in as many of these guys to go with as many of these guys. The golfers down here, you know, like Cam Davis, he's going to be my highest rated 6K golfer. Taylor Moore is also pretty high. You have Grayson and Lucas that have 900 point totals or more. Same with Matt Kuchar, believe it or not. Like these are the only guys that really sniff, you know, value to pair up with these 10K golfers. And by the way, if you're paying attention during the pass optimal and GPP winning lineup portion of this, we did see a lot of optimal lineups that had 4 7K golfers in it. So yeah, it did steer away from the 6K. Now, there were optimal lineups, there were GPP winning lineups, there were sweet spot optimals that did have 6K golfers in them. So it's not to say stay away from the 6K range, but if you are going to do 6K range, you're going to need some of these guys to anchor your lineups around. But if it's like the optimizer is looking for value, and the value is found between the 9K and the 7K range, big time. Okay. This lineup's really good. Rory, Højgaard, Benny Ann, Henley, Rose, English. I like that one a lot. And was that the last of the two? Benny Ann and Justin Rose? Yeah. Okay. So those were lineups for Gabe. Gabe, those were pretty good lineups. I like those. We'll put these all together. How many did we build for you? 12? That's pretty good. Okay. I will look at the next lineup to create. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is just go with all of the golfers that you guys told me your favorite 2 golfers are. I think that's pretty solid. And I will do somewhere between 3 to 5. If we build 3 really good ones, then we'll move on. If there's some other okay one, or, you know, there's left to be desired, I will build more. But we're going to go Ludwig and Eric Cole. It's a good combo to build lineups around. There we go. Here, we're pulling 2 6K golfers in now. Scheffler, Homa, Aubert, Cole, Cam Davis, and Taylor Moore. That's a really good lineup. I like that lineup a lot. Hovland, Aubert, Fleetwood, Cole, Steven Yeager, Pavon. I don't like pairing up 2 of the same 7K ranges, but that's actually a really good lineup. I like that lineup a lot. Let's see if we can switch it up just a little bit. Hovland, Schauffele, Aubert, Cole, Pavon, Brendan Wu. I'm gonna probably not play that much Brendan Wu, so I'm going to hit run Optimizo again. Now we get more of a balanced lineup. Schauffele, Aubert, Fleetwood, and Cole Pavon. Sure. Pavon just going to show up a ton. We can kick him out this way by saving a lineup with him in it. And we get Victor, Aubert, Højgaard, Connors, Clark, Cole. That's probably my favorite lineup. So those were 3 good lineups for you, Mr. D'Lo. I see your other lineup that you just put in the chat. I can do that a little bit later. I'm just going to cruise through some of these. Just want to be a little bit quicker when it comes to building these lineups. We are going to go with Hosler and Hovland. It's a very interesting. Mr. Hosler at $7,800. Let's see what happens. Hovland, Schauffele, so 2 10K golfers, 3 7s and a 6. I kind of like that. No lies. I like that a lot. It's actually a good trio of 7K golfers, that last one. Scheffler, so 2 10K golfers. Again, Scheffler, Hovland, Hosler, Cole, Davis, Svensson. Yeah, I like this lineup too. Svensson, yeah, sign me up. And add a little Scotty love in there. Absolutely. Hovland, Young, Fleetwood, Hosler, Cole, Pavon. Pavon's showing up way too much. I do not want that much Pavon in my life. Hovland, Young, Fleetwood, Hosler, Cole, Patrick Rogers. I like it. Not much Cam Young love, so just having one of those in there is pretty good. Okay. Oh, I had Eric Cole still selected as a yes. Daryl Mooney, I'm going to do those lineups again. Let me clear out the rest of this. I don't know why I didn't do that. Hovland, Schauffele, so pretty much the same lineup. It's 49-4. How about we do 49-6? Again, Hovland, Schauffele, Højgaard, Hosler, Clark, Lucas Glover. That one's pretty good. Hovland, Young, Fleetwood, Hosler, Cole, Pavon. Okay. That's very similar to the last one we just... is that the same one? It might be. Hovland, Homa, Day, Hosler, Jaeger, and Todd. Yeah, okay. Yeah, those are 3 good ones. And that isn't with Eric Cole being anchored around. Let's see, did we actually create like the same lineup? No. Maybe I'm thinking of a lineup that I just didn't save, but Hovland, Cam Young. So Hovland, Cam Young, Fleetwood, Hosler, Cole, Rogers. Which one am I looking for? The Fleetwood one. Hovland, Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, Bo Hosler, Eric Cole, and then Matthew Pavon. So those are the 2 differences between it. Was Rogers and Matthew Pavon, but it had the same 5 guys. Okay, so yeah, I thought so. All right, we'll delete these and move on to the next duo. Eric Cole and Hovland. Lots of Eric Cole love, which is fine. I think that's a good play this week. Scheffler, Hovland, Cole, Jaeger, Pavon, Cam Davis. Let's run it again. I don't want to see Cole and Jaeger together. All right, this one's okay. Scheffler, Hovland, Clark, Cole, Pavon. How about this? Let's just kick Pavon out. That wind just boosted him up so much. Oh, sure. Cole Yeager. Yeah. I'm still gonna. I don't. Try it again. Hovland, Shoffley, Benny Ann, Wyndham Clark, Eric Cole, Cam Davis. Yeah, I like that lineup a lot. I feel like we've done it before. Clark, Cole, Davis. So find all my Davis lineups. Nope. Clark though. Okay. Scheffler, Hovland, Henley, Cole, Emiliano Grillo. That's a good one. We like that one. And one more good one. What's going on, Byron? What's happening, man? Hovland, Finau, Fleetwood, Harmon, Kirk, Cole. Interesting. That one's decent. Sure. All right, going on to the next one. Byron, we are currently building lineups for people who left their favorite duo of golfers to put together. That was Joshua Maz, but that's also Ryan Henson, Eric Cole, Victor Hovland. And I have a Hovland Hosler. Did we already do Hovland Hosler? We did too. So Joanne, if you're watching, Daryl Mooney also did Bo Hosler and Hovland, so we're gonna skip that one since we already did it. Here, I can pull up those lineups. I can pull up those lineups for each one of those combos. Those combo wombos. So the first lineup we did was right here, and this one had. This was what? Cole and Aubert. So Ludwig, Cole, Cole. Second one was Hovland and Hosler. Ho. So here you go, Joanne. This is the Hovland Hosler lineups. Victor Hovland, Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, Bo Hosler, Eric Cole, Patrick Rogers. Then Scotty Scheffler, Victor Hovland, Bo Hosler, Eric Cole, Cam Davis, Adam Svensson, and Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele, Bo Hosler, Wyndham Clark, Eric Cole, Luke List. So pretty good lineups. For the Eric Cole Hovland lineups, just double check here. Oh, I missed one. I missed old Elvis's Straka Bradley lineups. I'll do those. Is this... Which one is this? Oh, these were was this Hovland Hosler? Yeah, this was Hovland Hosler, but oh, this was just Hovland Hosler. I already did that though, right? Why would I? Oh, yeah, one had Eric Cole in it. Okay, so that was this was Victor Hovland, Hosler with Eric Cole. It was those three guys, and then I built other ones because I liked those. And this was Victor Hovland, Bo Hosler. So Hovland Hosler, that was Daryl Mooney as well as Joanne. Hovland Hosler right here. So that was Victor, Max Homa, Jason Day, Bo Hosler, Steven Yeager, Brendan Todd. Hovland, Young, Cam Young that is. Fleetwood, Hosler, Eric Cole, Matthew Pavon. Hovland, Xander, Nikolai Højgaard, Bo Hosler, Wyndham Clark, Lucas Glover. So those are your Hovland Hosler lineups right there. Again, this was Aubert and Eric Cole. And then this one also was Hovland Hosler, right? No, this was the last one I just did. Hovland Cole. Hovland, 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 Cole, Cole, Cole. And that one was Joshua Maz and Ryan Henson. So those two are taken care of. So Mr. D'Lo, we took care of yours. Daryl Mooney and Joanne Hosler, or Jesus, Daryl Mooney and Joanne Sluice. Those, we did yours. Hovland and Cole for Joshua Maz and Ryan Henson, we did those. So I'm going to replace this one with Straka Bradley. Sorry for the mix up and sorry for that taking longer than it needed to. Let's go Bradley and Straka. And I'll leave some money on the table. Okay. Back 9 bet says Sahith, Tom Kim, Adam Scott. Of course. I was there. I was listening to your podcast. I know you got a real hard on for Tom Kim. Hovland, Shoffley, Benny Ann, Keegan Bradley, Sepp Straka, Cam Davis. That's a pretty sexy lineup. I like that lineup a lot. Scheffler, Homa, Bradley, McCarthy, Straka, Moore. That's really good. I don't want to leave that much money on the table. $800. I know I put the the minimum down there, but I don't want that. I don't want. Okay, optimizer. Just like, oh, we'll just do 49.4 then. Scheffler, Homa, Bradley, Cole, Straka, Andrew Putnam. I can do that though. That one's fine. Cantlay, Spieth, Finau, Bradley, Straka, Brendan Todd. Very interesting. Don't mind it. I'm going to build another one because I'm trying to get a little bit more. Okay. Cantlay, Thomas, Finau, Bradley, Straka, Todd. Sure. Why not? Why not? So that was for old Elvis. Clear these out and see what the next one is. Xander and Scotty by Mr. Shalik Harden. I like it, dude. We did see some Scotty Xander lineups. You're just hoping that Burnsy will show up, right? I know you are. The first Burns lineup that shows up, you have to play. First one though that shows up is Scheffler, Shoffley, Clark, Cole, Pavon, Cam Davis. You know what? Hey, that's not a bad one, but I'm gonna kick Pavon out. That's a lot of Pavon. This is a good lineup though. Scheffler, Shoffley, Fowler, Clark, Cole, Taylor Moore. Pretty solid. Scheffler, Shoffler, Harmon, McCarthy, Grillo, Cam Davis. Interesting. Okay. Don't mind it. Scheffler, Jesus Christ. Scheffler, Shoffley, Hosler, Steven Yag, Brendan Todd, Lucas Glover. Minus Xander. That's got to be, well, I guess Jaeger as well. I was gonna say that's got to be the most boring white man squad to put together. Pretty solid though. We'll do one more. Scheffler, Shoffley, Finau, Hadwin, Grayson Murray, Seamus Power. Wow. Interesting. Scheffler, Shoffley, Ann, Hadwin, Kevin Yu, SH Kim. So let me see. Did any withdraws come out recently? I'm going to show you guys the tweet that I saw. Look at this. I don't know what this means. So I used to do Buzz Fantasy Golf as like a one and done. Field update. Okay. I was looking at this one. Field update for Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Removed. Bezadenhout, Hatton, S.H. Kim, Keith Mitchell, Kevin Yu. And I was like, wait a minute. Are these withdrawals about to happen? So in the beginning of this video, I had mentioned that I'm hearing buzz, quote unquote, around withdrawals happening. This is part of it, but it obviously wasn't buzz. Then they added them back. Bezadenhout, Buckley, Dietrich, Hubbard, Jaeger. Okay. S.H. Kim. Okay. So I no further withdrawals, I guess. Okay. That back up, this back up, and continue going on because this lineup's pretty good. I like it. Okay. How about one more? I think maybe that's what I'll do. I think I'll just build 3 lineups for non-members. I'll build 5 lineups for members. Or maybe I just do unlimited lineups for members. I got no issue doing that. Scheffler, Schauffele, and Todd, English, and Murray. Okay, so we want to lock in Burns. Maybe it breaks it. Maybe it does not. We shall see. We shall see. 2 10Ks and an 8K. Yikes. Yeah, it broked. It done broked. Actually, hold on. I'll save these over to a different page. We'll run it again. Still doesn't like it. Maybe there are some locked out golfers that will help. Nope. Burns done broked it. But I'm going to take out Schauffele and see what your boy Scheffler and Burns, what that looks like. Nathan Johnson, what's going on, man? You're never too late. If I'm still streaming, you're right on time. Cam Davis, man, who do we like better? You like Cole or do you like Jaeger? I hate pairing up same 7K golfers together. I'm gonna kick out Jaeger. There we go. Love this lineup. Favorite lineup so far. Scheffler, Burns, Højgaard, Clark, Cole, Davis. Yep. Sign me up. That one's pretty good. I like Cole, not really on Cam Davis. Okay. Not really on Cam Davis. Well, he's getting kicked out in this lineup, so I can continue on with this one. Oh, Pavon. Jeez, just always messing it up. Scheffler, Burns, Finau, Clark, Cole, S.H. Kim. That's not terrible. No, well, Mr. D'Lo, first of all, for those just listening, he asks, optimizer only pulls from anchor buckets, correct? Well, it prioritizes the anchor buckets, and it will make sure it grabs whatever the minimum I have set. But it doesn't just only pull from there. I mean, like, this last week 1, so the minimum is 1. It only selected 1. This chose button means selected. It only selected 1 because I told it has to pick at least 1. So it's not only grabbing from this bucket or these buckets. You can see that this isn't an anchor bucket, and this also is not an anchor bucket. So I'm not asking it to choose 1 out of either of these, but it is. The one on the screen right now, or the one that I said before? So you like Scheffler, Burns, Finau, Clark, Cole, Maverick, McNeely? These 2 guys would probably be the highest owned golfers on the slate, right? Mav McNeely, I could see over 20% in the 6K range. $6,200 is just dirt cheap. All right, moving on to Mr. Ryan Henson. Charlie Carden, we can always come back to you, man. I'm really gonna make it a point to reward those that are members. Well, it'd go members, subscribers, and then just people just watching. Let's see here. He wants Hovland, Cole, Montgomery. T-Mont. Remember, don't ever fall in love with a 6K golfer, but never disrespect one either. So we have, wow, Scheffler shows up. So Scheffler, Hovland, Wyndham Clark, Eric Cole, Montgomery, and then Cam Davis. I like that lineup a lot, actually. Sure, why not? Let's save that one. That seems like a really good lineup. Has a lot of players that I think have the possibility to be in the GPP winning lineup. But I'm going to kick out Cam Davis. Scheffler, Hovland, Clark, Cole, Montgomery, Moore. Yeah, I like that lineup a lot. So we'll save that one, and then it will kick out Scheffler, Clark, and just Scheffler, Clark. So now we get Hovland, Schauffele, Homa, Clark, Montgomery, Lucas Glover. That's not terrible. Hovland, Spieth, Fleetwood, Cole, Jaeger, Montgomery. I like that lineup. I'm going to kick out Jaeger. I like that lineup, though. Hovland, Justin Thomas, Fleetwood, Cole, Pavon. Come on. That's another good one. I like that lineup a lot. I don't mind Matthew Pavon. I just don't want... I just don't see it two weeks in a row. Hovland, Morikawa, Fleetwood, Harman, Cole. There we go. There we go. There's a really good lineup. 10-9-8, 7-7-6, using 49-6. Seems pretty good, man. Those are some good lineups there for you, Mr. Ryan Henson. We're gonna go on to Byron's. I think Byron, you still in the chat, man? Were you just done with the pod? I was when I was on Twitter. I saw that you were live an hour ago. I know you were in your own podcast at 6 to 7. You must have been in another one from 7 to 8, I imagine. Okay. Oh, Mr. D'Lo's actually next, which is totally fine, man. Mr. D'Lo. He wants Homa, Morikawa, Sepp. That is a really good combo. Homa, Morikawa, and Sepper Straka. The Sepper. We get Hovland, Homa, Clark. I'm sorry. Hovland, Homa, Morikawa, Clark, Pavon, Straka. We are going to kick out Pavon. Again, showing up way too much. It's a pretty fun lineup, though. I want to just see what it looks like without Pavon. Maybe he switches things up. Kind of does. Schauffele, Homa, Morikawa, Clark, Straka, Brennan, Todd. Let's kick out Clark. Actually, let's kick out Todd. Hovland, Homa, Morikawa, Clark, Straka, Cam Davis. See, I like Cam Davis this week, and I like this lineup. This lineup, I think, can do things. Homa, Morikawa, Cam Young, Benny Ann, McCarthy, and Straka. What? Let's change this to 49.6. Xander, Homa, Morikawa, McCarthy, Alex Noren. Yeah, sign me up. Anything that has Noren in it, sure. Homa, Morikawa, Cam Young, Russell Henley, Bo Haas, or Substraka. I'm gonna do without Cam Young. Homa, Morikawa, Sam Burns, Russell Henley, Bo Haas, or Substraka. Interesting. How about we do without Bo? It breaks. Interesting. I'm gonna kick out Henley and just see if Bo's needed. He's not. Homa, Morikawa, Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, Evan Yu, Substrate. Yeah, that's another good lineup. I like that lineup a lot. Cool. Those were 3 lineups for you, Mr. D'Lo. We're gonna move on to Byron. Names we haven't seen before: Sahith, Tom Kim, Adam Scott. So here's my soapbox on Tom Kim. I've been in Byron's chat a lot about listening to him bring up Tom Kim, and I've been ultra critical of Tom Kim. I was able to watch him, I think it was during the American Express, right? Let me double check. So, yeah, the American Express. One of the easier golf courses, putting contest, right? Should have been in putting contest, no wind. Guy looked lost. And quite frankly, when you look at his last 7 weeks, obviously there was 3 weeks where he was off, as was every other PGA Tour player. The 4 weeks prior to, he didn't really put together any good finishes. 85th spot, 45th. Now, I imagine the argument is, well, hey man, you can't just look at results. So you got to look at his stats. So I'll pull up his stats. And Byron, this is the only reason I'm doing this is podcasting. You're the boss. So during your podcast, you're the boss. You're talking about everything that you think is good about Tom Kim. I'm going to tell you everything I think is bad about Tom Kim. And it's the only way that people can actually have these conversations is through speaking. I can say more words speaking to you than I can typing to you. So we bring up Tom Kim. And so we're looking at his American Express and Century. Prior to that was the Shriners, right? And the Shriners, he had a good finish. Well, the Shriners was what, 2 months ago? So it's really difficult to bring up the Shriners and use it as any, you know, obviously that's good vibes for him. He's done well at the Shriners before, but like everyone's so concerned about his putting, right? So he had, let me just zoom in a little bit more. -5 at the Century, -2.48 at the American Express. That's fine. I don't necessarily care. Where he's gonna play well, like, okay, 5.79, that's good with putting. Yeah, you need to make putts in order to win tournaments, but this is the number you got to be looking at. 7.13. This is when you know a golfer is doing well. He's hitting his approach and he's making his putts. That's a golfer that's doing well. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Prior to, not very good. This was okay. BMW Championship's okay. This is break even, not great. Open Championship, hey, not terrible. I mean, that's good. That's good. I'll be open. And then the Scottish Open, you mentioned that to me, Scottish Open, because I said the weather here, if it gets bad, it's not going to be good for him. Here's my thought process on that. If the guy's golf swing is broken, and I'm not saying it's broken, like I'm not going over the top saying it's broken. He looked lost. He was hitting not super great iron shots, and then he wasn't making his putts. Now, he looked more lost on the American Express greens than he did during the Century. I didn't really watch him that much during the Century. But his approach game isn't that great. And obviously off the tee isn't a strength of his. So these two things together aren't super good. This is his ceiling versus floor. There's no ceiling there. There's not even a good floor. It's just garbage. Like, this is bad. These are his last two events. And then that's worse. That is so much worse when it comes to putting. When you bring a golfer with a bad golf swing into wind, it makes it worse. Now, one person I think is different is Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth, his golf swing bad turns into a good golf swing in the wind. Because he's so quirky, technical or whatever, Tom Kim is like golden boy. Which I understand that's what Spieth was like. But Tom Kim goes out there with wide eyes, like, oh no, nothing can go wrong for me, and then it does, and he's like, oh no, I don't know what to do. Whereas like Jordan Spieth is like, I'm gonna manufacture things together. The magic beans comes out of that. Tom Kim doesn't have magic beans. I don't think his, like, this is a good golf course for him. Don't get me wrong. The whole setup, if you were to say on paper, if I wasn't able to look at stats, I wasn't able to watch golf, and you're like, okay, Tom Kim's going to play, he's going to play at Pebble Beach. Do you think, okay, Tom Kim is going to be playing Pebble Beach, and he's, what's his price? $8,000. And I don't know what the rest of the field is. Just blindly, you're like, he's $8,000, Tom Kim at AT&T Pebble Beach. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I'll play him all day, every day, because at $8,000, that's a pretty good, that's a really good price point for him. It's a no-cut event. Wonderful. Maybe he figures out the putting, but isn't his putting best on Bermuda? Is that, I can't remember. Where does he usually putt the best at? Shriners was what, overseed, I think, possibly. Tour Championships was Bermuda. This was not. I don't remember where BMW was played at. That was not. This was Bermuda. This was Fescue. Rocket Mortgage was POA. Travelers was Bent/POA. Open was Bermuda. Memorial is Bentgrass. Where was PGA Championship? I think that was Bentgrass/POA. Byron Nelson, that's Bentgrass, I believe. Wells Fargo is usually, that golf course in the summertime is Bermuda, but was that overseeded? I don't remember. RBC Heritage is overseeded at that time. Masters is Bent. Players is overseeded. Bermuda overseed, whatever. This is Bermuda overseed. Genesis is POA. Phoenix is Bentgrass. American Express is overseed. So, like, I just don't want to play him anywhere that he's not on Bermuda or overseeded Bermuda. Or Bent. Bent is like overseeded Bermuda. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Look at his approach play before the Shriners, but here's the thing. Byron, I think you golf. As a competitive golfer, what happens in the short term matters way more than what happened 2 months plus ago. Your swing is more affected by what happened last week than it was 2 months ago. So I am overreacting because I'm replying to you during your podcast. I really don't think the ceiling for Tom Kim is 16th place. Hey, last week I bet you $100 that you wouldn't want to play 6 golfers from the same bucket. I'm more confident on that than I would be on this, but I'll buy you a case of beer if Tom Kim places better than 16th place. His putting is just whenever he feels like it. I'm confident in this. I'll give you my confidence rating on Tom Kim finishing worse than top. Okay, hold on. There's 80 golfers in the field. Yeah, he's what would be fair? 12th place? He's not going to finish better than 12th. Just not going to happen. That's where I'll draw the line. 12th place. Won't do better. I'll owe you a case of beer if he finishes 12th place or better. Or 11th place or better. That's, Tom Kim is just a little boy. He's a little boy trying to play a man's game. And Joe Scovrin dumped his ass because he's like, you're not a man. I don't want to play with a boy. I'm going to Aubert because the guy's a Viking. So I'm going to play with him. Tommy Kim, ain't happening, man. Just ain't happening. But we'll build you lineups with Tom Kim in it. Case of Keystone, if you, sure. Yep. Top 16, you got it. I'll do that. That's a good, that works for me. This is like Chad, and when I got into the fantasy golf stuff, I would always bet Chad because Chad would say certain things and I'm like, that's not happening. He won a couple times, but I think when it came down to it, that guy owed me like a truckload of beer. Let's see. So we got the 3 in there. Perfect. 7, 9, 7. Okay, perfect. But I mean, you had your, like you had your podcast where you're able to talk freely. You listen, you get to read the chat and then you just get to riff, right? So that's all I did with this. I got to riff how I truly feel about Tom Kim. If we were doing a duo podcast, I'd be telling you the same thing where I'm just like, dude, how? I don't see it. Where do you see Tom Kim finishing inside the top 10 of this event? Of course, I mean, hey, there was the LACC. I forgot that was Bermuda. Totally forgot it was Bermuda, but it was also during the summer. I should remember California courses have Bermuda on them during the summer, like the American Express. So I was wrong there. I was wrong. The Max Homa hitting a draw versus a fade, I'm pretty sure I have him in my database as hitting a draw. I've always known Max Homa to hit a draw. Yeah, I have him as a draw, shot-shaped draw. I know he hits a fade, but when I look at his golf swing from a technical standpoint, that's not a... He labors to hit a fade. I think a draw is his most natural shot shape. And I could be wrong. Maybe his buddy said, hey, you can only hit 6 draws, but I'm pretty sure he came on tour hitting a draw. And the reason he needed to hit a fade is because most of the courses out here require a fade. You want to hit a fade to control the ball more so than a draw. Yeah, I'll come on, no problem. The only time that I'm not really available is Tuesday nights. My Thursday night streams can be switched around, but yeah, the Thursday night stream's pretty fun. All right, so that first lineup: JT Finau, Tom Kim Theegala, Hosler Scott. Feel like that's gonna be like that's gonna, people care about the over 100% total ownership. I feel like that's what that lineup is right there. That feels like a top, maybe not the Tom Kim. I don't even know. I don't know what the public sentiment is on Tom Kim. Byron, anytime, Wednesday, after work, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever. I'm free, man. Oh, I do play basketball at 7 p.m. I got to get my weekly exercise in. Keep the beer belly down. The girlfriend wouldn't like if I, didn't play basketball. But I'm a late night person. I'm on there. I'm on podcasts with you until midnight on Sunday nights. Don't think I'm not doing that every single night. I'm up late. And then it breaks. We get one lineup and then it breaks. Let's see. Do I have... Could be the exposures. You might need one of those guys 100% of the time. I'm just going to go down to the 7K mark. See the optimizer, the bucket system is just like, dude, this ain't working, dude. Yeah, so JT Finau, I think those are probably staples that need to be in a combo with Kim, Theegala, and Scott. Oh yeah, I suppose Theegala was... Okay, so I'm going to kick out Hosler. And I'm going to open up the salary relief. Okay. So now we get Denny McCarthy at 49.2. Which probably means when we kick out McCarthy, it might break once again. Okay, hold on. Just wait. I got something. Everyone in the chat. Looks like there's 12 of you. All you have to do to get an entry, an additional entry into the giveaway, is either put in Team Darbo or Team Byron. That's all you got to do. Just Darbo or Byron. Does not matter. Team Eric, Team Darbo, does not matter. You get another entry into the giveaway. Whose side are you on? Are you taking Tom Kim or are you not? All you got to do is reply Team Darbo or Team Byron. B-Y-R-O, wrong. Actually, your new name is Byrong. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. Byrong. B-Y-W-R-O-N-G. Byrong. Oh my God. Shot like Harden. I can't believe you, dude. Can't believe you. Unbelievable. Should just take away your... Just take away your giveaway... Whatever. Unbelievable. Well, Byron, we need to figure out how to get the optimizer to like your lineup consideration. So where does it go wrong, I wonder? Here, let me bring back McCarthy and see what I can reverse engineer from this. All right. So we need one last year one. Are we getting that from McCarthy? I bet you that's what it is. Yeah, last year one. So of all the golfers you picked 3 guys that haven't played here or did not play here last year, which is great. Last year 6, we won at least 3, but we also need one guy who top 20'd here. And I bet you the other bucket combinations aren't really giving that. Oh, well, yeah, probably not giving that justice. So that one could be questionable. We also want a guy who top 20'd last week. You have that? Is this where it is actually? The last week one? Finau wouldn't be that guy, would he? Yeah, he was. Okay, so you need Finau in your lineup. Why would you also need Denny McCarthy, though? It breaks if we don't have Denny in there. So Denny... Is it a course history 3? It is. It's a course history 3. So Adam Scott's course history 4. Course history 4. And no course history with Tom Kim. So we need a course history 3. And... well, that doesn't make sense either. It must just be a combination of buckets. That's most likely what it is. I don't know. Philip, what's going on, man? Tom Kim just better be glad this is a no cut. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I like Adam Scott. I mean, Adam Scott at classic golf courses just seems to fit. Philip, is this Philip Hall? I'm wondering. I think you left a chat or a comment on one of my other videos. Just want to double check. There we go. Nathan. Cool. All right. Well, Mr. Byrong, I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Recent form. Ooh, maybe it's recent form 2s. 6, 3, 4. Lots of 2s up here. Here. I'm going to open this up. We'll just say 1. Let's see if this helps. Pick out McCarthy. The hell? Where's McCarthy? Oh, there he is. Eyes are going cross-eyed. Scheffler, okay, so okay, I lessened this might help going forward. So now we get Scheffler, Finau, Kim, Thigala, Scott, Brennan. Woo. It's not terrible. Add in Mark Hubbard. That one's not bad. So we kind of have this core going on, which isn't terrible. And I will do that for you. I'll do Tom and Sahith. So I want to see what these ones look like. So it's just that it's okay. Yeah, we'll take Adam out. Let's see what happens now. A little bit more freedom. So now we get Hovland, Schauffele, Kim, Thigala, Wyndham, Clark, Lucas, Glover. Not terrible. I'm sure Wyndham Clark is going to show up a lot. Do you like Wyndham Clark? If you don't, I'll boot him. Hovland, Homa, Kim, Thigala, Clark, Jaeger. So yeah, Clark is going to show up a bunch. Let me know if you want me to kick him or keep him. If you want me to keep him, we just have to figure out who to kick. Actually, let me bring back my my exposures, because this will just help us create diverse lineups. You don't like them? Okay. So this should change things. Might break things. Okay. Here's a more balanced lineup for you. Cantlay, Homa, Kim, Thigala, McCarthy, Jaeger. Hovland, Schauffele, Kim, Thigala, Clark, List. I thought we... Oh, we're at that 20% mark. Gotcha. Well, List isn't terrible for like a 6K golfer. Let's try it again. McIlroy, Kim, Benny Ann, Thigala, McCarthy, Pavone. That's pretty interesting. It's first Rory lineup. Kick out Pavone. Actually, well... Let's see. All right, let's see here. Do we have any more lineups after Byron's? Just to put on deck. I am not seeing any. Okay. Philip, do you have any concerns with the course history buckets not being accurate this week because of the different set and the strength of field being so different? Do you have any concerns with the course history buckets not being accurate this week? So actually this week, what you would call the course history buckets are tournament history buckets. That's the one distinction that I sometimes forget to make, which I obviously did this week. Yeah, this should say tournament history because this tournament has always been multi-coursed or having multiple courses. So I mentioned this earlier. The strength of field thing is definitely one of those things I'm thinking about. I don't have anything to judge this based off of. So like, or compare it to, I should say. You know, where an event goes from a middle, like actually, this event has always had a very weak strength of field and now has a super strong one. Can't think off the top of my head. I think RBC Heritage at one point in time, maybe it was when COVID came back. That is not a Pro-Am. Actually, the American Express this year was kind of that change of strength of field. There were better golfers in the field this last year than there have been in the past, but not by much, but still good. And the course history buckets, I mean, the bucket system as a whole was spot on. I think it was 100% correct. So I still would favor, I mean, like the course history buckets, I'm not really asking for more than just one course history 3. So there's just limitations that we're putting on these. And quite frankly, this is going to be fine. You know, don't want more than 2 golfers who have not had course history. Don't want more than 2 that have a missed cut on average. And the rest of them are whatever. Hi, Anna. Nice to see you back. Probably, are you heading to bed soon? I'll make you a shirt. I'll make you a funny shirt. I'll do a circle badge and I'll have your face right in the middle of it and it'll say Sweet Spot DTF Anna Marie right on the bottom. Yeah, Byron, she makes fun of me all the time. She likes DTF for whatever reason. I don't know. It'd sell like hotcakes, I'm sure, right? Cantley, Homa, Tom Kim, Benny Ann. There you go. Oh, do you like Brendan Todd? Byron, do you like Brendan Todd? I feel like I haven't heard you talk about him at all. Oh, you don't like Brendan Todd. He's a 6'3" guy who hits it like he's 5'8". I remember hearing that. And he does. He hits it like a little bitch. Tom Kim hits it more like a man than Brendan Todd does. And we already know how I feel about Tom Kim. Xander Ashafali, Cam Young, Tom Kim, Thigala Hosler, Eric Cole. That one seems like it has potential. That lineup looks good. Son of a bee. All right, Anna, you're my marketing and merchandising director now. You have to now. I'm trying to come up with a tagline for Oh, I suppose this is just a cutout. So we want something like this. I mean, this is going to be very amateur, but I suppose, no, we gotta make it black, right? This has to be like NWO. NWO. Let's go backwards. Get it in. That's pretty good. I like that. Well, Anna, you always tell me you don't have time for anything. You don't even have time for me. So like I would come to you. I hear these ideas, but I didn't know they were like, you know, 20 like just, you know, $50 million ideas. Ooh, we always hit the optimal. Like that. Ooh, this is an interesting lineup. I'll make time to design your merch. Oh, okay. It'll be like the Insider Club. Always hitting. Oh, this podcast has digressed into degeneracy. Well, we're talking about degeneracy anyways, right? But not like a DV situation. Domestic violence. Gotcha. It's been what, 3 hours into the stream? The brain is now mush. Hovland, Aubert, Kim, and Thigala Davis. Is this your lineup, Byron? Seems pretty solid, right? Jeez, unbelievable. You guys, I tell you what. I tell you what. I think we should probably ask Anna, what is end the stream. What is Anna's Anna, who do you think is going to win this tournament? Unbelievable. I don't even know what that refers to. I'm sure you hit solid since there's this 10-second delay between you and I have no idea what your whole comment pertains to, but I'm sure it's, you know, solid timing. And I'm gonna get you a shirt that says Every rose has its thorn. And you know what that means. I know you know what that means. Got him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Go back. Listen, Linda, listen. I don't like the fact that you're going on. Oh, did you say, ooh, how many tequilas has Anna Marie had? Oh, Byron, you can't leave now. We have the greatest president in the chat right now. We're not even so much chat. Unbelievable. You can't come in here and just say Tom Kim peace and then leave. That's war. I will go to war with you. I will go into your chats from now on with anti-Tom Kim chants.
I forgot to do the voice changer thing. I was trying to talk to Byron in this voice, and I think he already left. He's gone. Can't do it. He's gone. I was listening to Shane Gillis do the whole Trump thing, and all you have to do is say, "Oh, he's still here. Byron is still here. Choo choo." I don't think so, pal. Listen, I saw Tom Kim as a golfer, and I said to myself, I didn't think Tom Kim's a good golfer. Not the greatest, not the best. He's doing choo-choo because Tom Kim was named after Thomas the Train Engine, or whatever the hell his full name is. Everyone just calls him Thomas the Train. Listen here, Tom Kim is not huge. He's not huge for any reason. I saw him one time and I said to myself, he's not huge. Tom Kim is not huge. He's one of the smallest guys I've ever seen. And he hits the ball so incredibly short because he's a short man. He's got little hands, very little hands. Unlike me, I've got big hands. My hands are very big. Tom Kim, I saw him and I said to myself, that guy's got small hands. He can't hit the ball very far. Very small hands. Tom Kim doesn't hit the ball far. He can't do anything. He's got to rely on his short game, and quite frankly, it's not that great. Yeah, crybaby Tommy. He was on the golf course, and he was trying to play a tournament. He pitched dead last, and I said to myself, hey guys, you gotta be the worst golfer in the world. I saw him crying, and I thought to myself, what a crybaby. That's one of the biggest crybabies I've ever seen. Tom Kim, one of the worst golfers, one of the worst in the world. Me, not so much. I'm one of the best. That's right, Tom Kim. He's not down. He's not DTF. Not a part of the DTF brand. He's trying his best, but he's just a little man. He's a little man. Not great. Not great. Very small hands, not me. Very large. See, very large hands. Large. Tom Kim, very tiny hands. Baby hands. Baby Tom. Baby Tom, crybaby.
All right. We got rid of it. We're back. Yeah, we get to the third hour, and the third hour is just nothing but just you guys all came here for the shenanigans that happen. Back 9 boo boo. Anna, you missed out. You could have chose either Team Darbo or Team Byron. We had a whole section dedicated to whether or not we should play Tom Kim or not. And Shot Like Harden, by the way, he was, I think, the only person on Tom Kim. The guy, Shot Like Harden, I'm saying. He betrayed me. Betrayed me. Can't believe it. Yeah, we every single stream, it's done. Once all the lineups have been built, it's like, okay, let's hang out, and then we just divulge into more degeneracy, which I'm here for. What other voices do I need to do? Back 9 bet, didn't you not just say you were leaving? I thought we were like, I thought the cool crowd was, you know, the cool club. We were cool to talk to each other, and now we got to be silent again because there's one person here that just doesn't meet the criteria. Bye, Byron. Cool Kids Club back in session. We don't have to deal with Byron anymore. By wrong. See you, dude. Judas. More Yikes. What's my thoughts on Hosler this week? I like him. Hosler, he's in one of the good buckets. Yeah, Hosler, I think, is in one of the good buckets. The last year one and last week one. This is, if I were to put together a website that had these bucket combinations, these bucket combinations would be, I'll get back to this. Bye. That's what Anna and her parents do all the time. Bye. So you got it. You got it, Byron. Byron, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Byron. Anna, he lives in Iowa, that poor soul. Byron is you gotta go check out his channel, just see how he talks. He's a Safa, as I learned to say. South African. I missed the first part of the stream. I'll go back and watch. Yeah, no problem, man. It will be on replay very, very shortly, because I don't plan on being here long. I am watching Anna's dog right now, and I think he probably needs to go outside. Anna's watching me. That's why she's here. She's here to monitor how long that I've been on stream and neglecting her dog. But we can do some housekeeping items, some housekeeping Mav is sleeping, actually. So I'll leave him be. Here, I'll give you my last takes. So, like, Bo Hosler, I do like, Philip. I like Bo Hosler because of his bucket combinations. I think he's also playing really good golf, and this is a golf course I think he can... know, actually. You know what? I like Hosler. Let's put it that way. I don't really have any other analysis to go with. I think he's a great price tag. That's part of this DFS thing. It's a good price tag, $7,800. In good buckets. I think he fits this course pretty well. When he is... There's no trouble here either. The only thing I'd ever be worried about with Beau Hosler is finding trouble. Just like at Torrey, you can just spray it around. As long as you're strong enough to hit out of the rough, you're gonna be just fine. I think this is a great place for Beau, and he's had success here before. Sorry, I've been in and out. What would be the reason to fade Ann? So Benny Ann, the only reason that I would say fade him, he's ranking out really well in my model, and he shows up a lot when it comes to lineup building. $8,000, unlike Charlie Harden, yeah. So the 4-foot playoff was not great, but if he's cheap enough, second place is wonderful in your DFS lineups, right? So if we're talking about betting him, all the more power to you, Shot Like Harden. Yeah, that's definitely a reason to fade him when it comes to betting. But when it comes to DFS, I think $8,000 is a better choice than Tom Kim. And Byron's not even here to back him up. Anna goes, I'm voting Hottie Javi, Ludwig Lover, and Cameron Diaz. Like as in, you like Cameron Davis, but you're calling him Diaz. Okay. Names that are on the optimizer. I'm like, how did you get those names? You must have been watching for a while, but no. I know you. Hovland, Ludwig, and Cammy Boy Davis. You picked a Norwegian, a Swede, and an Australian. That sounds about right. That's right up your alley. And Cam Davis is what, like 6'5", Ludwig is 6'3", Victor's like 5'10", but he's Norwegian. So it's tough to play him, and I like guys like Hideki, Fitz, and Fleetwood. Which would you fade in favor of Ann? Oof. Those are good names. So when it comes to lineup building, so you're saying you like Hideki, who's $8,300. You like Fleetwood, who's $8,600. And Matty Fitzpatrick, who is $8,200. That's, to me, already too many 8K golfers. I know it might seem irrational and there might not be a really good explanation behind it, but more often than not, optimal lineups don't have 3 or more 8K golfers in them. But if you're building like a cash lineup, for instance, I understand going the 8K route because it's more balanced. And it's a no cut event, so I get it. Quite frankly, I would not cut out Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Fitzpatrick. I wouldn't cut any of those guys out for Benny Ann. I think Fitzpatrick will be in the optimal lineup. Fleetwood has it. If it's not Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood probably has the second best chance in the 8K range to do so. That's my whole feeling on that. I don't mind Matsuyama, but I don't think this is a great course for Matsuyama. I would much rather have Matsuyama at Torrey Pines, which obviously he finished pretty decent at, because longer golf courses that require, you know, more accuracy, I think favors someone like Hideki. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I take that back, because what I could see happen here is, I mean, Hideki's really good with his wedges. And if he finds the rough, it's not a big deal. I also think Hideki's way better in the wind. Like, if you compare golfers when they play in the wind versus not in the wind, and you look at their baselines, I bet you Hideki's versus everyone else, his baseline doesn't change as much. So like, I think, how else would I put that? So I'll just make it like really easy. Let's say we take all these guys are pretty good. Actually, I'll take Im, Matsuyama, and Kim. These 3 guys. And let's just say objectively, and this isn't really true, but let's just say Sungjae, Tom Kim, or let's say Sungjae with no wind averages 2 strokes total. 2 strokes gained total. Tom Kim also averages 2 strokes gained total. And Hideki Matsuyama averages, let's say, 1. Let's just make it easy. So 2, 2, 1. If they're in the wind, I don't think Hideki's changes much. I bet you his stays around 1, whereas Sungjae would lose. I mean, he might be flat 0. Same 2 would be Tom Kim. So like Hideki doesn't really, to me, his game isn't affected in the wind, which just makes him a better golfer than say Sungjae or Tom Kim in my scenario that I just made. So if the wind is blowing, I actually like Matsuyama much better than I do without the wind at this golf course. If that makes any sense. And a reason behind that is if you look at golfers like him, Jordan Spieth, I always bring up Jordan Spieth because if it's windy, sign me up. I don't care how bad that guy's golf swing is. He is going to manufacture shots. Whereas other golfers require no restrictions in their golf swing and need the looseness of being able to swing it however they need to. People like Hideki and Jordan will just swing it how it needs to be swung. It may not, that might seem counterintuitive with Hideki Matsuyama, but I've seen it too much in the wind. He's got a solid base. His swing is built. Like if you were to go and push him in his golf swing, I bet you he doesn't move. Like I think he built his swing to be super imbalanced or super on balance, and strong. And Spieth would be the type that just centers himself and needs to hit like knockdown shots and stuff like that. Whereas if you give me like Justin Thomas, if you went up and pushed him, he'd probably fall. Not fall, but he would, you know, stumble backwards or forward. Okay, so that was a long answer. Hideki Fade only had 2 top 10s last season. Yeah, that's last season. He's been battling a neck injury. He's been battling it for a long time. So that's something to keep in consideration because he did have a top 20 finish last week. So we'll see. I have Scott in 7K and then paying up for Spieth. Okay, so you're basically going Spieth at 94. Here, how about this? I'll settle it for you. Spieth at 94. Adam Scott here. Let's make sure it selects 2 8K golfers. Let's just see what this does. Why are we opting for physical violence? Where'd you hear physical violence? What did I say? All right, I don't want, let's just say we want no more than 2 7K golfers. Brandon Uwu. I guess we got to open up to 3, right? 3 8Ks now. Yes, I read that one. Fitz doesn't seem like the best DK scorer. Well, they're not playing Monterey Peninsula, which is like the golf course is easier. But these winning scores aren't super low. 18, 19, that's kind of medium in today's day and age. Like it is possible that this could be the winning score right here, 11 under. And if that's the case, if this is a grinded out par, actually, Even at 18 under, to stay in the side of the top 10, you got to get to 13 under. 13 under. 12 under last year. I mean, I don't see how... I don't see Matt Fitzpatrick not being... I see him, like, anything around 12 to 14 under is perfect for him. You know, like, there it is, 14 under. I don't know where else he's, like, I don't know where else he is on the leaderboard here, but I think it's a perfect course for Matthew Fitzpatrick. Especially for DK points. Anna, I bet you shot like Harden's still in the chat. And I wonder if Lombardi Lee is still in the chat. Okay. Okay, actually, there you go. On the screen is a very viable lineup. 49.7. Let's just say no to Tom Kim, but I mean, if you wanted Tom Kim, that's fine. So I'm curious, Mr. Awaken Up. Are your lineups, are they for a cash game lineup? Are they like a 100-man contest or less, or payout is to 50% of the people? So the lineup that's on the screen is using all the bucket information and putting together a lineup for you. I mean, 49.2 is probably too much money you're giving up. Are you trying to go like 4 8K golfers? Single entry GPP? So what is your strategy? Are you trying to do 4 8K golfers? Because without that, I can't make a lineup work. Yeah, even if I put in 4 8K name, or like 4 8K, like the option to choose 4 8K golfers, it's not letting me. Which it isn't something you really have to concern yourself, but if you're following the bucket system and SweetSpot rules, you'd want to do it. So here, see, even when I give the optimizer a chance to build to take 4 8K golfers, it's only selecting 3, and that's because I'm forcing it to choose 3. But Spieth, Finau, Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, Scott, Cole. No Hideki though. Oh, gotcha. That's an interesting lineup right there. Yeah, so I mean, like for me, I get single entry GPPs are something that you want to not be super risky about because it's just a single entry and you want your entry to go the distance. I would say this. I mean, this is kind of a perfect opportunity, a no-cut event, to get real frisky. Like, you got 2 8K golfers that you like, so we can just lock those guys in. Here, I'll do something. Let's see, Benny Ann and Bo Hosler are in group 9. So let's do this. Let's put Matsuyama in 9, Fitzpatrick in 9. Fleetwood is in 5, but we'll make him 9, and Ricky Fowler's the other one that's in 5. So 9, 9. So these are 3 9s. Let's just say we'll tell the optimizer to select 2 from that group. At least 2, no more than 2. And then we'll switch this from 3 to 5. And let's see what the optimizer just selects. It's going to create the most oh, I should anchor around Spieth. Oh, Spieth, Homa, Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Cole. I don't like Matthew Pavon. Why are we at? Oh my God. Matthew Pavon, no. Interesting. Spieth, Homa, Matsuyama, Fitzpatrick, Harman, Eric, Cole. It's a pretty good balanced lineup. 2 8Ks, 2 9Ks, 2 7s. We've seen that one time as, I think, a GPP winning lineup. Let's say no to Homa. I know you don't do ownership, but I think the 8K range is going to be low owned. Well, if that's the case, then, you know, some of the lineups that we've just built would be perfect for a single entry GPP. So a lineup like this on the screen, Hovland, Spieth, Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Jaeger, and Kuchar seems pretty decent. This one's even better yet. Schauffele, Spieth, Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Jaeger, Moore. I'm gonna take out Jaeger. Build a couple more here, and I'll continue to talk, but I think I'm gonna draw the cutoff here. 10:30 I'm gonna get off, okay? So 10:30, I am going to end the stream. Get your questions in now if you'd like to. Okay, here's an interesting one. Schauffele, Spieth, Matsuyama, Fitzpatrick, Wyndham, Clark, Taylor, Moore. I'm going to kick out Wyndham, Clark. Schauffele, Spieth, Matsuyama, Fitzpatrick, Cole, Emiliano Grillo. Yeah, I like that one too. Emiliano Grillo is a good 6K golfer to add with that core. Adam Schenk. I don't like Brendan Todd with that, but Fleetwood yeah, I mean, like Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, Matsuyama, Fitzpatrick, they all are working out in these lineups, and we're adding them to Spieth, and Spieth is bringing in a bunch of other good names. Like the lineup right here I like a lot. Schauffele, Spieth, Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Cole, SH Kim. Hovland, Spieth, Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Harris English, Taylor Moore. Okay, so this is like a perfect, this lineup right here is a perfect GPP winning lineup. Anyways. Have you done any Homa Hosler lineups? Have I? Think so. I did Hovland Hosler, not Homa. Okay, so it was what? Hosler and Benny Ann, and then Fleetwood was in group 5, right? If I remember correctly. And we want to change this back to 0, 1, 2, 4. Perfect. Is there any Rainmaker rookies you like? What's a good strat for which cards to get right now since it's early? Dude, I was thinking about that. I don't know. Here's the issue. that I think with this is going to happen now, and I think this happened late last season. So what was like the sentiment at the end of the year last year? Well, I don't know what's going to happen to my cards. So nobody went and bought new cards. Very few people, like, the market for those cards were too expensive. People didn't want to buy cards they thought were going to die. You know, like, they went out, or like Scotty Scheffler common cards went from like $12 down to $5. And it's like, well, shoot. Had you known you could have used them at the beginning of this year, you would have still kept those. Like, you wouldn't have sold them for so cheap. But then they went back up to like 10, 12 once you were able to understand, or once you realized you could still play them. Or it was something similar to that. Here, I think the market is so overpriced that people are just going to sit and wait. First of all, people are going to sell their cards for really expensive. And as the buyer, you're going to sit there and go, I'm not going to like. So I bought one of those rare T-Box packs that just came out today. And I pulled an Alex Smalley elite card. Elite Alex Smalley. I looked right away. The market already had that price set at $300. And I'm like, oh God. Yeah, I don't think this is going to sell for $300. I placed it for $310, but it's like, I don't think this is going to sell for $300. I really don't think. I think when it normalizes, that card will be worth like $90 at most, maybe $80. Like how you saw Elite Genesis cards at the end of the year last year. Like, you could buy a lot of cards between $60 to $80. Like, you could buy a Jason Day last year for, I think, $70 towards the end of the season. And that's like during the fall swing events. Now I think you can get Jason Days like $260, $240, $260, something like that. So I don't know, man. And the rookie cards aren't going to be like they used to. So right now the highest multiplier is 3x, and that's the T-Box set. I think you can get, if you get a Royal card, it's worth like 200x or something silly. No, I think it's 2000x actually. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what strat to use. It's so different from last year. Like, if the rules were the same, if the point totals were the same, if the values were the same, then it would make sense. Then you would know. But I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna just double check. Yeah, Russell Henley right now is $440. Oh, I'm wrong. Jason Day Elite cards, $500. $500. I said 240, 260. I was way off. $500. That's insane. Yeah, now Alex Smalley went down. So yeah, that's what it is. It's going to be very expensive, and then cards are going to come down. Nuts. You know what's funny though? you could have, I could have accepted an offer for Alex Smalley for 203. I think I remember, or 230. It was something like that. And now the list price is 210. Yeah, it is probably best to wait. And also the market is set based off of how well people pull cards. So like if there's like really good cards on the market like Scotty Scheffler or whatever, those prices are going to dictate the lower priced guys. Okay, so it's 10:32. I went a little bit longer than I said I was going to, but I need to call her quits. I need to call her quits at some point in time. So, a recap of what I plan to do, what I said throughout a lot of this video. I have a 7K strategy that I'm going to deploy. It looks something like this. I have my AM guys in here. There's no tee time splits, so don't worry about the AM PM. This is just a way for I always just have it built in here for when there are tournaments that do have that split. But basically what I am going to do, of the golfers that are, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, these 10 golfers, I want to play at least one of them, if not two of them. So it's Henley, Keegan Bradley, Corey Connors, Denny McCarthy, Chris Kirk, Wyndham Clark, Alex Noren, Keith Mitchell, Sepp Straka, Brendan Todd. The reason being is they are at the top of the bucket combination list that I have for 7K golfers, and I've been doing this so far for the last 3 weeks. It was successful at the it was successful at the American Express. It was also successful last week at the Farmers Insurance Open. So I was very narrow with my pool last week when it came to the 7K range. If I had just opened it 3 spots, I could have got on someone like Matthew Pavon. By the way, my pool for my 7K golfers were a total of 4 golfers. So if I open it up to the top 7 and at least had 2 of them, but no more than 2, I would have had Bo Hosler as well as Matthew Pavon. I mean, I could have. So this week, I don't know if I'm really going to do 10. The bottom, by the way, of that list was Brendan Todd. Brendan Todd, Denny McCarthy, and then one other guy that finished top 10. Who was it? I think it was Keegan Bradley. Keegan Bradley was 10. I know that for sure. So really the top 7, I think, were these guys. Let me just double check. And this is experimental. I'm just seeing if this works week in and week out. Sepp is the top. He has 37 points added to his name because he's been in all of the bucket combinations, not all of them, but he's been in bucket combinations that just show up inside the top 10 more often than not. Then it's Russell Henley, Chris Kirk, Wyndham Clark, and Alex Noren are all tied with 28 points. Then it's 27 to Keith Mitchell, 26 to Corey Connors, and maybe this is where we cut it off. These are our top 7 because these are 26 and above. But if you wanted to include 20th, 20 points, 22, or 20 and 22, then you add McCarthy, Todd, Bradley, and Ricky Fowler. I don't want to. I mean, these guys aren't terrible, but if I wanted to keep my core really small, just these 7 guys might be the best way to do it. But I wanted to grab guys who top 10 this event last year, and McCarthy and Todd are right there. So I do want to open it up. Maybe I just open it up to these guys here, these 9. Yeah, I think so. But, you know, Keegan's no slouch. I don't mind playing Keegan, especially on a bounce back week for kind of a disappointing Farmers. So anyways, that's kind of my whole thought process here. I think if I were to do exposures here, I'm going to do 6% Brendan Todd. I don't want that much Todd. I don't really believe in him. I'm also going to do like 6% Keegan Bradley. I want to play some of him, but I don't want to play a lot of him. I do like Denny McCarthy. I don't mind leaving this at like 25%, but this is how I'm going to start my lineups. I want 1 to 2 of those 7K golfers. Everything else, I think I just keep as is, and I'm just going to build lineups. Here's what I already did. I built these lineups earlier without Marquee Tee Times. So it looked like this. And these were my exposures right here. This is how much I have golfers in my lineups. 27% Benny Ann, 30% Jason Day. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. These, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to rebuild lineups because I did this without Marquee Tee Times. I don't even know if these guys are in Marquee Tee Times or not, like together. So I will go ahead and build some lineups here after the stream. I also do it tomorrow. So when I usually do it. So those are my thoughts. I think the cream rises to the top. I think anyone 9K and above, you're going to want 2 of these guys in your lineup because 2 of them are going to be in the optimal lineup. I don't know which ones they are, but you definitely want, you want to start 10-10, 10-9, or 9-9. But I honestly think you do want a 10K golfer, because if it's not Victor, it's Scotty, and if it's not Scotty, it's Rory, and if it's not Rory, it's Xander. That's how I'd rank them. I think it's Hovland, Scotty, or Scotty Hovland, one of the two. It doesn't matter to me. Rory's 3rd no matter what, and Xander's 4th no matter what. And then I'd go from there. And I think you can pair up a 10 and a 9K golfer super easy, because the 6K range is pretty dense and the 7K range is really good. So those are my thoughts. Okay. Well, I think that's where we're gonna end it. The song is a good song. I gotta remember this one. I should start my streams with this. Anyways, get in the giveaway, comment, do all that good stuff. $5 weekly. I'm giving away $110 unless we get 620 subscribers. So if you're one of those that are not subscribed on the channel, get it up to 620. I'll add $20 to the pot. I'm already adding 10, so I'll add another 10. So instead of 110, we'll be at 120. That's going to be given away next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. You need to let me know you've won. I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not going to reach out to you. It would be difficult to do it anyways, because most of you don't even have your YouTube set to public. It's private, so I can't get contact information through your YouTube. You're going to have to contact me letting me know that you won some monies. Yeah, 110. That's given away next Tuesday. 5 is also going to be given next Tuesday. So get yourself into the entry, be subscribed to the channel, comment on this video, just like everyone that's been doing in chat. Appreciate you all being here. And once this goes on replay, go back in there, leave a comment. That gets you another entry, by the way, if you didn't already know that. So you can get several entries. I'm also live streaming Thursday, going over my database. We're trying to build a database. I mean, the database is done. So it's building reports out of that, from that database, and then applying that to a website. So we're going to start building reports pretty soon. That'll be fun. Join me in the Thursday night stream, get more entries that way. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you all for watching. Please leave a like on your way out, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.